expected to be out at least 2 weeks with a right ankle sprain. And R.J. Williams doesn't believe the Lakers can make the playoffs.
I'm not betting on this team with 24 games left all of a sudden just to figure it out. Now, they could kick it into a different gear. But a play-in tournament, maybe, yes. But the play-in tournament is not playoffs in my opinion. Though. Playoffs is being a top 8 team and making it into the first round of the legitimate playoffs, not the play-in tournament.
Jay Williams on Key J and Max. A massive fire today at the clubhouse of the Oakland Hills Country Club in suburban Detroit. There were no injuries. The club hosted the 2004 Ryder Cup and the 2008 PGA Championship. Michael Massey is out as Formula One race director after an investigation found that he mishandled the finish of the finale in December.
How would you love a chance to save some money on car insurance? Geico can help. Switch today and see all the ways you could save with great rates and discounts. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com to get a rate quote and get started seeing how much you could save.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. 1 day away from the start of baseball season. LSU at the box tomorrow. Kendall Rogers, 1 hour from right now. We'll preview the SEC as a whole. As we've talked about a little bit, all the top teams in the West all have giant question marks in their rotation. They've all lost big names from a season ago. So how does it all sort out here as they push off from the dock on the 2022 college baseball season? Of course, all of our shows at 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge will originate live from walk-ons just off of campus tomorrow. So we'll be there tomorrow. Terry will be in for the whole show. Ton of baseball tomorrow. We'll look forward to it. Will Wade, he'll be here in hour 3, straight at 5 o'clock. And then Mike Triplett, also in hour 3, as we'll talk about Pete Carmichael being retained as OC. Let's start with some LSU basketball. Tigers do, in fact, beat Georgia. Did what they had to do in the ball game last night. And listen, Will Wade, after the game, summed up where his team is right now.
We got 5 games left. We took care of business tonight, which we had to against a quad 4 opponent. There's one you just couldn't lose. And so I thought that was certainly positive. And it's going to get tougher as we move forward here. There's no doubt about that.
Again, it wasn't so much what that win did for your resume. It was avoiding a quad 4 loss. You couldn't take a quad 4 loss at home when you're trying to piece together a resume to climb up in the NCAA tournament rankings. So your net did not move at all. You maintained the same net number. You went into yesterday 16 in the net. You came out of yesterday 16 in the net. So, again, the bigger thing was not beating Georgia. It was not losing to Georgia. Beating Georgia did nothing for you. Losing to Georgia would have been devastating for you. So, Tigers get the win 84-65 at the Maravich Center. Tari Eason was awesome again. 21 points, 9 boards. Led LSU as they started to race past Georgia in the closing minutes of the first half. It was a 17-0 run that after a sluggish start offensively for LSU. First 6 three-pointers in the game. It was an ugly game offensively. But LSU settled in. They cranked up the defensive intensity. They turned Georgia over 13 times in the first half. 13 in the first half, 26 for the game. LSU also forced 3 shot clock violations in the first half. It was stunning that Georgia couldn't even get a shot off. I mean, LSU was defending through the entire shot clock. We had the game on. I was listening also to the radio broadcast, and Chris and Coach Brady just kept making mention of that. LSU's gone over 30 now in the season, the number of shot clock violations they have forced, which is super impressive. Speaks to their defensive intensity and efficiency. Really nice day for Darius Days with 15 and 12, a double-double, and then Xavier Pinson. I think this is probably the thing that everyone collectively should acknowledge now, right? You should not in any way be confused any longer about what caused LSU's slump, the losing 6 out of 7. Look at what they are with Xavier Pinson as opposed to without Xavier Pinson. And it's not because Xavier Pinson is a transcendent player, but it keeps everything in line. Because when you removed Pinson, everybody moved up a chair. It affected your starting lineup. It affected your ability to bring defensive pressure off the bench with Gaines. It moved Eason into the starting lineup, which also affected your offensive rotation. Will was asked about that too. He's like, because this starting lineup now, a lot of people have mentioned it, with this starting lineup, LSU is 17-0. They have not lost with the starting lineup of Pinson, Days, Murray, Reed, Wilkinson. They're 17-0. So he was asked the question,
Murray, present.
Thank you. He was asked, why are you so good with this lineup? And here's what Will said.
Look, it's the whole team. I said this, I think, in the press conference when we were down. The strength of our team is the strength of our team. Like, we're a good team. And, everything just runs a little bit smoother. The rotations run a little bit smoother. The matchups are a little bit more advantageous for everybody. Everything's just quite a bit smoother with that lineup.
It just makes sense. We've seen it now. We have a large enough sample size to understand why they were losing. Yes, they were playing some better competition in some of those games on the road, but you're also talking about a situation where LSU, not only were they not at full strength, they weren't at their best because of the way the rotations were affected without Xavier Pinson. So we know what this is now. You avoided the bad loss. You limited your turnovers. I mean, 3 of LSU's turnovers came right at the end of the game whenever they had Parker Edwards in the game. I mean, they had emptied the bench. Edwards hit a 3 at the buzzer, but it got waved off. But let it count. What the hell? Just let it count. They had already covered the number. But LSU won the rebounding advantage 36-27. I mean, they turned Georgia over 26 times for 31 points. 31 points off of turnovers. I mean, that was the name of the game. Georgia didn't have a ball handler. LSU cranked up its defensive pressure. They kept Georgia largely off of the line, and LSU was efficient enough offensively. So they got the win. My big question, I will talk about this with Will when he's with us coming up in hour number 3, is the quick turnaround. LSU has done the Wednesday-Saturday thing 3 times. And they've lost all 3 times on Saturday. Now, 2 of them were without Xavier Pinson. They played Florida and then lost on a Wednesday, which they won. Then lost at home against Arkansas on the Saturday. They lost at Bama on the Wednesday, then lost on the road at Tennessee. So that was road. And then they beat A&M at home. That was their one win in the middle of that when they lost 6 out of 7. And then they lost at TCU on Saturday. So the quick turnaround when you have to travel has not been kind to LSU the way this is set up. Now, either way, you're going to be on the 2-day turnaround one way or the other, right? I mean, if you go Saturday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, Saturday, you're going to at one way of it, either side, you're going to have the 2-day turnaround. But LSU has not fared well on this one this season. I'm going to ask Will about that. You better believe, as a guy as detail-oriented as he is, he will know, right? I mean, he will have looked at everything, and he'll have an answer, whether he attributes anything to it or not. It's something that's a trend so far right now. All right, it is after further review. Glad to have you aboard with us here. Thursday shows are brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Blue Bond in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette. Online at theantiagingclinics.com, theantiagingclinics.com. Jay Johnson was a guest on OTB earlier today. He did yesterday with the media mention Blake Money on Friday, Mikhail Hilliard on Saturday. Whenever he was asked about Sunday, do you have that one where he was asked about Sunday? He was asked about Sunday and with the rotation. I don't know if it's one of those. You may want to check. It's one of those where he mentioned some guys that may go on Sunday. I'll tell you, like, my understanding is that they've settled in on either Ty Floyd or Will Helmers on Sunday. So which way it goes, we'll see. And obviously the weekend can play out the way it does. But like I told you earlier this week, that Blake Money had really established himself and was likely going to get the start on Friday, and he did. I'm very confident in telling you that Ty Floyd, Will Helmers is where they're zeroing in on for Sunday. So we'll see how the first two games play out and what options present themselves after the first two games. But I think it's going to be down to those two to make the Sunday start here in Week 1. We'll talk to Kendall Rogers of D1 Baseball at the start of Hour 2. So a lot to get to, and glad to have you hanging out with us here. Let me knock out our first break of the show. When we come back, Saints reportedly will retain Pete Carmichael Jr. as the offensive coordinator. That is contrary to the initial reports that they were going to retain Carmichael on staff, but not as OC. So what happened, and is this a good thing for the Saints moving forward? We'll talk about it. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Darren James and Associates, powered by eXp Realty. Every home listed by every company, all in one place. Agent225.com. No one has more creative ways to get your home sold faster for more money than Darren James, I'm telling you. You sit down with Darren for 5 minutes or 2 minutes, you'll understand. Just wired differently. The way he uses technology, creative marketing to get your home seen by more people, it's how he gets to more closing tables faster than anyone else. 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com. But the thing above all else that sets Darren James apart, the thing that sets Darren James apart, is his ability to make you feel like you are his only client. He is always accessible. He responds to calls and texts and emails immediately. Have that experience when you're buying or selling a home. 335-7666. Call Darren James. Get your home sold.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. AgingClinic.com, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Glad to have you aboard with us here. We will talk to Kendall Rogers about 45 minutes. Will Wade will be with us to start hour 2. Mike Triplett will be here also. Will Wade will be here in hour 3, and as will Mike Triplett, and we'll talk about the big news of the day. If you haven't heard yet, it looks as though Dennis Allen is going to retain Pete Carmichael Jr. as his offensive coordinator. I want to remind you that there were initial reports after Dennis Allen was hired that Carmichael was going to stay on staff, but not as OC. That was an initial report. Saints then went and did some variety of different interviews, kicked the tires, different places. Liam Cohen from Kentucky, Jay Gruden, Scotty Montgomery, another that they looked at. And ultimately, it appears as though it's led back to this point. As a matter of fact, here's what Ian Rappaport just about an hour ago had to say on the NFL Network. Forgive me, we're having a little trouble with the audio. I apologize. But Rappaport, I don't know why we're not you can't hear it. All right, well, Rappaport and the NFL Network essentially reported the news that the Saints are going to retain Pete Carmichael Jr. I want to remind you, when Dennis Allen was hired, and he was asked initially about making those coordinator hires, here's what he said.
I don't know that we've come to any concrete decisions about everything. I do think that we have a lot of great pieces in place. I think that's one of the unique things about this job. This was not a broken job. This is a job that is a desirable job. This is a job that has a foundation and a culture of winning that's already been built. And so my job, as I see it, is, man, I want to try to build on that. I want to try to continue this winning tradition, and I don't see this as something where we need to have a ton of change.
So that's why that comment was why it was a little perplexing initially when we heard Pete Carmichael wasn't going to be retained. So follow me along here. Dennis Allen's hired. Throughout the whole process, one of the big appealing parts of DA was, hey, look, you've had this winning culture. You don't need to change it a lot. You can maintain Pete Carmichael as OC. You got the same people in the building, the same terminology. The players are familiar. All of that stuff makes a lot of sense. You just promote Ryan Nielsen or Chris Richard to defensive coordinator. Like, all of that just made sense, that you keep the structure, culture, everything, continuity in place. And then Dennis Allen's hired. He says it right there. I don't think there needs to be a lot of change. So then we get the report that Carmichael's staying on staff, but they're going to bring in a new OC. Well, now they're bringing in DC candidates as well. And so there's this feeling like, well, they are rocking the boat and they are changing a lot of things. And to be clear, my feeling on it has been, you hired Dennis Allen, so you've got, he is ultimately going to be responsible for whatever the results are. You've got to allow him the opportunity to build his staff and build this organization in his image, in his likeness, however he wants it, because he's the head coach. He's not trying to imitate Sean Payton. He's doing his thing. So, yes, there's going to be some consistency on staff. Look, I mean, Doug Marrone's back. Doug Marrone was on the initial staff in 2006 along with Dennis Allen and Pete Carmichael. They brought him back to be the offensive line coach. Cool. I would have been very, very, very intrigued had they been able to kind of go get the big name, right? One of the guys we talked about was Eric Bieniemy, who they interviewed for the head coaching job, and after the reports that maybe he's not sticking around in KC, there was some thought that maybe Eric Bieniemy would be a candidate to be the OC in New Orleans, kind of break free from Andy Reid, so that way there's no question as to whose offense it was if he's now calling plays under a defensive-minded head coach. Maybe that's the opportunity Bieniemy needed. That would have been very appealing to me. That would have been very appealing. But outside of that, I don't think you need change just for the sake of change. I want to remind you, Pete Carmichael has called plays before. Pete Carmichael called plays in New Orleans in 2011, 2012, and 2016. Do you remember how those seasons went offensively? 2011 is the single greatest season in New Orleans Saints history. Now, it ended in devastating fashion in the divisional round at Candlestick Park at the hands of Vernon Davis. But it's one of the most devastating losses in Saints history. I mean, Pierre Thomas gets concussed early. It looks like you have the game-winning touchdown with Jimmy Graham, and then here comes Alex Smith and Vernon Davis and whatever. But the Saints averaged I want to say this slowly. The Saints averaged 467 yards a game that season with Pete Carmichael calling the plays. That was number one in the NFL. The next year was Bountygate. Sean Payton's gone. Gone for the year. Carmichael's running the offense. They averaged 410 yards per game, second in the NFL, behind only New England. Sean Payton comes back in 2013. He assumes play calling duties again. In 2016, Carmichael called plays again. 426 yards per game, first in the NFL. So if you're scoring at home, Pete Carmichael in the 3 seasons in New Orleans where he called plays, 2011, 2012, 2016, the Saints NFL rank in total offense, first, second, and first. Pete Carmichael can call plays, y'all. I ain't worried about it. He can formulate a game plan. He can call plays effectively. He's done it. That ain't a problem. Like, don't worry about that part of the offense. I think Pete Carmichael Jr. will do just fine as the Saints offensive coordinator. I don't worry about that. The bigger problem for New Orleans, when you look back at what happened this season, when they were dead last in the NFL in passing offense, and they were 28th in total offense, it wasn't that Sean Payton forgot how to coach. It wasn't that Pete Carmichael had the little laser light thing from Men in Black and wiped everything out of his memory that he learned about football. They used 4 different quarterbacks, man. Their best receiver didn't play a snap. Their second best receiver played for Buffalo. I mean, Alvin Kamara was injured. Mark Ingram, they had to bring Mark Ingram in from Houston, and then he gets injured. Like, it was a disaster all year. I mean, your all-pro tackle combination were hurt all year. You lost your starting left guard for half the season. I mean, it was just, everybody got hurt. It was a disaster. It was a mash unit offensively. So I don't put the results of this season on the coaching staff. It was injuries. So get you a quarterback. If it's Jameis Winston, if you go to free agency somewhere else, if it's someone in the draft, whatever it may be, go get you a quarterback because we know it's not going to be Taysom Hill. Like, Taysom ain't going to be your starting quarterback. Go get a quarterback or draft one, whatever it's going to be. Get Michael Thomas back in the fold. Draft a receiver, someone that can be a legit number 2 opposite Mike Thomas, and get this thing rolling again offensively. Like, it can happen just fine, but it's the problem this year wasn't the X's and the O's. It was the Jimmies and the Joes. You got to fix that this offseason. And if you do, Pete Carmichael will be just fine. So I like it. I'm not going to react viscerally to this at all. I know there's some, it's not like, I don't feel it's like in college football where you want that big splash name, the 7-figure coordinator. Like, do you have a smart quarterback? Do you have good weapons that can go win one-on-ones? Do you have a good play caller that's competent in scheming to get favorable matchups and then having your players execute? Like, I think the bigger question there is going to be, can you get the players that can win one-on-ones? I love Marquez Callaway. He's going to be a great NFL player. As a number 3. Even as a number 2, he's not a number 1. I like Deontay Harris as a guy that gets 2 or 3 targets a game. I don't like him as my best receiver on the team. You know what I mean? That's where the problem lies with the Saints. So I'm good, to be very clear, good with the Pete Carmichael decision. And it makes sense. It falls in line with what Dennis Allen said when he was hired. Now, they got to hire a defensive coordinator, and we'll see who that might be. Do they stay in-house? They've already brought in some outside candidates to interview, and if they do follow the same path they did with the head coaching job, they interviewed their outside candidates and then their in-house candidates, and we'll see. All right, it's after further review. I'm glad to have you hanging out with us here. Love telling you about GMFS Mortgage, gmfsmortgage.com. A change in lives since 1999. Home buy, refi, construction loans, and they just opened their new office in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. So if you're even listening to us outside of Louisiana, if you're listening to Mississippi, they can help you now as well over at GMFS Mortgage. Check them out online at gmfsmortgage.com, gmfsmortgage.com. Save money each month by refinancing your mortgage. If your interest rate is in the 3s, certainly if it's in the 4s or higher, my goodness, you would be thrilled to learn what you could save each month on your mortgage payment with a refi through GMFS Mortgage. Take advantage of these historically low rates, gmfsmortgage.com. GMFS Mortgage, changing lives. All right, y'all, we'll go around the SEC when we come back. Glad to have you aboard with us here. Andrew Whitworth spoke after the parade for the Rams. We'll let you hear some of what Big Whit had to say, as it looks like he's punctuating his NFL career. Ton to get to, including Mike Brown, the owner of the Bengals, acknowledging they are going to spend money and get Joe some help. We'll get to that in the next hour also. Pell's back on the floor tonight. Love this time of year. Glad you're with us. It's AFR.
AFR.
The official supermarket of LSU Athletics is Rouse's. You can find the Rouse's nearest you at rouses.com. Maybe it's you're looking to indulge here at the end of carnival season. King cakes over at Rouse's. And by the way, I want to remind you, I know I've been telling you, but they have stopped now shipping king cakes. So you're out of luck. And it's basically due to supply issues. But you can go into a Rouse's and buy a Rouse's king cake. Few are better. So find a Rouse's location near you. If you need dinner plans tonight, you can always pop into a Rouse's. They got great grab-and-go options for the whole family. You can go into the chop house as well. If it's ribs or brisket or chicken or whatever it is that you want to eat to feed the whole family, they've got that. They got fresh-made sushi every single day. And if you want to get fish and vegetables, grab-and-go meals are awesome, and anything you need to shop for to watch the game as LSU baseball. Opening day tomorrow. Make sure Rouse's is part of your plans.
Before we begin any electrical work here, we perform a home safety check that begins at your electrical panel to make sure that you and your family are safe. For all your upgrades, installations, and repairs, call Mr. Electric.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Ford has 0.9% for 60 months on new Ford F-150 plus $1,000 bonus cash. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. And right now, get $1,000 bonus cash plus 0.9% APR for 60 months on new 2021 Ford F-150. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person. Connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary. For those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Billy Napier was a guest on 1010XL in Jacksonville. It's going to be interesting, obviously, because he's at a school that LSU plays every year, so you kind of have to keep an eye on him. And LSU and Florida did get into a couple of bare-knuckle fights for recruits in this most recent cycle. And if you were here yesterday, we talked about Arch Manning, how it appears as though, according to his dad, Cooper, LSU and Florida, because of regime change, are now in the mix for Arch. So however you feel about Napier going to Florida or whatever, it's irrelevant. The fact of the matter is you have to pay attention to him if you're an LSU guy because or lady, because he's at Florida and you play Florida every year. So what he does there is relevant. And he did talk a little bit about his recruiting strategy there at Florida.
This is a talent acquisition business, right? I mean, there's no question that starts with the players. I think it's important that you kind of separate the evaluation and recruitment part of your organization and the development and the motivation part of your organization, right? So we have that here. You know, we have a really qualified personnel department, not only high school personnel, but also college personnel. And then we have kind of this recruiting strategy, on-campus recruiting component, which is into the event planning, unofficial, official visits, you know, really working on our marketing, our pitch, how we sell Florida. You know, so the combination of the evaluation and recruitment part, you know, that's where the process begins.
That was a 46-second bite, and the only thing that mattered was the first 2 seconds where he said this is a talent acquisition business. That's a college football coach referring to the sport as a, quote, talent acquisition business. Yo, one of the things I told you all about around the February signing period that became very evident in circles was that Billy Napier was going full bore with NIL. And if there's someone that would, I don't know if he'll fully do it, but challenge Jimbo and A&M, it's on the NIL front. It's Billy Napier. Now, the interesting thing is that Ed Ogeron was a guest on the Dan Patrick Show last week from L.A. And Dan Patrick asked Ed Ogeron point blank about recruiting. He asked him point blank about, well, the question's in here, but he asked him about Texas A&M and all the NIL stuff.
What do you think was available at Texas A&M when Jimbo Fisher got all upset where they had the number one recruiting class and he made it seem like this had nothing to do with any of that oil money down there?
Well, obviously, I don't know, and I think those guys busted their tail recruiting because I know those guys, and I think they do that. But I do believe that was a big factor, and I do believe you got to compliment them. They must have had a great system on how to get it done. And because the players are going to go where they're going to make the most money.
Like, Ed gets it. Everybody gets it. Like, it's still so perplexing that Jimbo was so hardline against anybody saying, we need to get the Jimbo cut. Like, that's got to be a permanent thing. Like, because, I mean, how hard and fast he went against the idea that NIL had anything to do with that recruiting class is just comical. I mean, the way he presented it was just comical, but everyone around you saying the same thing. So, well, let's hear a little more from Ed Ogeron. Pretty good chat with with Dan Patrick last week out at the Super Bowl. Talked about a lot of stuff. Talked about Joe and Jamar. Talked about some of his recruiting wins and misses, and about LSU as well. So let's hear some more from Coach O in a little bit. All right, it's After Further Review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Always love telling you about our friends at the Aesthetic Medicine Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Blue Bond in Baton Rouge, Ambassador, Caffrey, and Lafayette. Online, theantiagingclinics.com. We do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Alabama Crimson Tide.
A former Tennessee coach, Derek Dooley, who was with the Giants this past year as their tight ends coach, he's been hired by Nick Saban to serve as an offensive analyst for the Crimson Tide. Dooley was Tennessee's head coach from 2010 to 2012. Also, stints with the Dallas Cowboys, the Missouri Tigers, and the last 2 seasons there in New York with the Giants. Dooley, you of course remember, worked under Nick Saban from 2000 to 2006 at both LSU and with the Miami Dolphins.
The Ole Miss Rebels.
Lane Kiffin is set to hire Maurice Crum as the Rebels' co-defensive coordinator and linebackers coach. Crum has served on the Western Kentucky staff since 2017. He served as the Hilltoppers co-DC in 2020 before having the title solo in 2021. Crum played collegiately at Notre Dame from 2005 to 2008. Yeah, Crum replaces Chris Kiffin, who was hired in January, but then left his brother's staff to go back into the NFL with the Cleveland Browns.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
Vanderbilt transfer pitcher Ethan Smith has been ruled eligible for the Vols after getting an NCAA waiver. Smith was 8-0 with a 2.78 ERA in 31 appearances in 3 seasons with Vanderbilt. Number 16 Tennessee opens Tony Vitello's 5th season on Friday against Georgia Southern. So Smith immediately bolsters a pitching staff that's been hit by injuries. Projected ace Blade Tidwell, he has a shoulder soreness, out indefinitely. Missouri transfer Seth Halverson, he has a broken arm and is expected to recover by mid-season. So getting Ethan Smith available for Tennessee immediately is a big get for Tony Vitello.
The Vanderbilt Commodores.
And Vandy Baseball has released new cleats for the 2022 season, honoring fallen soldiers. A really cool thing that Vanderbilt is doing. Now, typically on Sundays, Vandy goes with their military-inspired uniforms. Tim Corbin's dad served in the Army, which is why they've had a long-standing respect for the military veterans. Well, the cleat is a really cool thing that they're doing. It honors fallen soldiers and the branch of the military in which that soldier served. Very cool thing. There's a video that they posted up on their social media if you want to check it out. They worked with Memories of Honor to create the cleats. Also on the hardwood, light night, we told you that LSU beat Georgia, you know that much. Auburn, after struggling early against Vandy, ended up running away in the second half. They win at 94-80. Walker Kessler had 22-7 in that one. And Bama wasn't easy, but Bama got it done at home against Mississippi State, 80-75. Javon Quinterly had 21 points for the Crimson Tide. There you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends Gulf Coast Office Products. Online at gcopnet.com, gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. If you're a school, if you're a business, if you have office equipment, get the best office equipment and the best service. Gulf Coast Office Products. They're the best. They're a national Savin leader. Gulf Coast Office Products. gcopnet.com. gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. This is really cool. I do want to play this for you. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see the video. If you're not, you'll hear it, and none of the context will be lost. This is Tim Corbin, Vanderbilt's head coach, in the video that they posted, explaining the cleats that Vanderbilt's going to wear on Sundays this baseball season. And I don't care who you cheer for. This is just a really cool thing that they're doing. I'd hope we can hear it, and we're not going to be able to hear it. We got to fix this. I don't know what's going on with this. Anyway, go to the Vandy. It's at Vandy Boys on Twitter. They did a great video. Essentially, the cleats, on the back of the cleats, it has the name of the fallen soldier on one cleat, and then the branch of the military in which they served on the other cleat. There's also a United States flag on the cleat, and a tag, a dog tag, with the fallen soldier's initials on it also. So a really, really cool thing that Vanderbilt's doing, and raising awareness for that charity as well. Very moving. So kudos to to Vanderbilt baseball for a job well done. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out a break. Come back, wrap up hour number one. Muse will have our Olympic update. Kendall Rogers, 19 minutes from right now, as we are a day away from the start of college baseball season. It's upon us. We're excited about tomorrow. We'll all shows, OTB, Hunt Hill, Early Line, AFR, we will all be live at Walk-Ons on Burbank for the start of college baseball season. We're looking forward to it. Talking a ton of LSU baseball as the Tigers get ready to open up the Jay Johnson era. That's tomorrow. All right, glad you're with us. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Baton Rouge General Hospital, brgeneral.org. brgeneral.org, expanding healthcare in Baton Rouge. Listen, I mean, I've had so many personal experiences and family experiences with the Baton Rouge General that I just continue to rave. There's the Heart and Vascular Center over at the Baton Rouge General have been incredible. I can tell you, both of my mother-in-law and my father-in-law have each in the past couple of years had a heart attack, and the Baton Rouge General saved their lives. And the quality of care and service that they provided was exceptional. If it's emergency care, if it's cancer, a newly announced partnership with Mary Bird Perkins, you can deliver your baby there at the Baton Rouge General Hospital. Or maybe it's surgery, like we talk about. There are elective procedures with the robotic arm, the Mako robot that we talk about in other robotics. Cutting-edge surgery, less downtime, smaller incision, faster recovery. It's all available at the Baton Rouge General Hospital. Learn more online at brgeneral.org.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has new Jeep Gladiator Rubicons in stock with $2,000 off MSRP. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. And right now, get $2,000 bonus cash on new 2021 Jeep Gladiator. Shop now at BayouCDJR.com. The crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
If home is where the heart is, a roof is a shield. That's why for over 25 years, South Louisiana always turns to Garcia Roofing and Sheet Metal. For more information, visit.
After further review with Matt Moscona. Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, wrapping up hour number one. Rams had their Super Bowl parade yesterday. Sean McVay and Aaron Donald basically said they'll run it back. So all of the retirement conversation appears to be a bit premature. Maybe not the same for Andrew Whitworth, who certainly seems as though his career is going to be over. And Andrew Whitworth did have his chance at the podium for the Rams parade yesterday.
It's an unbelievable scenario. I could have never dreamed about it or thought it'd play out this way. But I couldn't be happier to be exactly where my feet are in this city, with this football team and this group of people that I got to do this with and this organization. World champs.
Well, if I could correct him, that organization sucks. So he could have done it with a better organization. I mean, that's an absolutely horrendous owner that robbed the city of St. Louis blind. He's not a very good person, and that's basically been told by, like, T-Bob told us a story that when he and I were doing Scone and Tea, that Stan Kroenke, and T-Bob played for the Rams, by the way. That was his undrafted. He got an undrafted tryout with the Rams. And he was basically told, they were told in a team meeting by one of the veterans, that it was Leroy Glover, incidentally, at the time, who said, listen, don't look Stan Kroenke in the eye. Like, you couldn't even look him in the face. And that's who you're dealing with, that kind of owner. So the Rams are a terrible organization. I have nothing for them. But I am happy for some of the individuals in the Rams organization, notably Andrew Whitworth, who also brought up the fact that there were some who thought he was done back in 2017.
5 years ago, I was told I was a little too old. And I was told that maybe my time was done. And I tell you this, for every single person standing out there that's ever doubted anything you've ever done, bet on yourself, because 5 years later, I'm holding this trophy up and I'm 40 years old. Let's go. Don't let anybody's opinions of you ever become your reality. Bet on yourself. World damn champions.
Why he's one of the most beloved, man. Andrew Whitworth, it was really cool to see him have that moment on the podium there at the Rams parade. Not really cool to see the Rams. It was also the other thing, too, that was, if not cool, that was damn near terrifying, was Aaron Donald without a shirt on. A man that's 300 pounds shouldn't have abs, right? Like, you shouldn't be shredded in the way that Aaron Donald is shredded when you weigh. Can we get, like, an official measurement on Aaron Donald? Can you please look that up, an official measurement on Aaron Donald? I'm curious exactly what he weighs. Paul, can you pull up this picture? I mean, Aaron Donald has abs. Legit has. His arms are shredded. Legit has abs. How big is he?
He's listed at 6'1", 284 pounds.
284, so he's not quite 300, but 284... To be 6'1", 284 and have abs feels a bit ridiculous. It feels Herculean, yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, he's standing there next to Odell in this picture, and I would expect Odell to have abs. He's a receiver. He sprints. He's long. He's lean. You expect that from Odell. You don't necessarily expect it from a 285-pound man, but there's Aaron Donald with abs. And incidentally, so does Andrew Whitworth.
Yeah.
That might be the more extreme situation.
Got in the water over there in L.A. in that weight room, man. They're working it.
Was that a what? Subtle implication of drug use?
No.
Oh, you said what do they have in the water?
Oh, it's a figure of speech. I didn't know. Maybe that was a wrong way to say it's a figure of speech. Oh, there must be something in the water. It's not. No, I'm not saying that Aaron Donald is on drugs or that Andrew Whitworth is on drugs. I would never say that.
Maybe you just did.
I didn't. Maybe you just interpreted it that way.
I think anyone could see that. Maybe I could see it from a mile away because of the Williamson Eye Center. That's how I could see it. How about that transition? Radio transition, Muse. Hashtag transition. Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020. Muse is going to have the Olympic update here in just a quick second, but got to remind you about the Williamson Eye Center. Dr. Blake Williamson, give him a buzz, 924-2020. No matter your age or your refractive issue, they have something for you. I want to stress that so much. If you're maybe someone college age-ish and you're tired of contacts or glasses, LASIK could be perfect for you. You're like me. I mean, I had LASIK in my mid-30s, and I'm thrilled with the results that I've had. Hester's told the story where he had LASIK during his playing days. His eyes continued to age. It's one common misconception, LASIK wears off. No, it doesn't. LASIK only addresses about 10% of your eye, but the other 90% of your eye can continue to age, so you could have other issues. So PRK was an option for Hester if it's a lens replacement. My dad had that. My dad's almost 70 years old. He had a lens replacement. That's what Ott had. So there's an option. No matter your age or refractive issue, there is an option if you want to see 20/20 without contacts or glasses. Ditch those readers. Be able to see clearly at night when you drive. 924-2020 or WilliamsonEye.com. All right, Muse, hit me with the NBC Olympic music there as we get into our Olympic update here as the United States of America furiously rallies to take the podium as the leading medal getter. I know that's happened since we spoke yesterday, right?
Well, no, it hasn't. The country of Norway continues to lead the Winter Olympics with 29 total medals, 14 of those gold,
Norway.
Followed up by the Russian Olympic Committee, Germany, and then you find the United States. It was a tough night.
Why does Russia even get to compete?
That's a great question. I don't know.
They cheated. They're out.
Multiple
why
times.
Do they get to
They're
cheat?
still cheating.
Why do they? In Norway. By the way, Norway, it says the Kingdom of Norway. It's not a country, apparently. It's the Kingdom.
Okay, that's actually kind of awesome.
I just looked that up.
That's kind of awesome.
The
I like
Kingdom of
that.
Norway.
The Kingdom of Norway. That's cool.
They have a king? Who's the king of Norway?
I don't know.
You think he'd come on the show?
Sure. I mean, yeah. We've made calls to Europe before. Now, a lot of them were Russ Mitchell, but
that's true.
We've made calls to Europe before.
But I was looking at national languages. So Norwegian, Sami.
Some French in there, too, I would think, right?
Scandinavian. No. Scando-Naromani. Scandor-Narami.
I don't know what that is.
Norwegian. And then sign language, actually. Sign language is an official language of English on there.
That's awesome.
It's going to be devastating.
That'd be tough. Yeah.
The King of Norway.
I don't think that would work.
Also doesn't name a king here. I don't see a king.
Can you be a kingdom without a king?
Apparently so.
Okay. That's interesting. It was a tough night for the United States over in Beijing. The women's hockey team took silver.
Told you.
They were down 3-0. I turned the game off.
You can't beat Canada, bro.
They beat them last year, man.
It's their sport.
They literally beat them last year.
You can't beat them at their sport.
But they did last year.
They invented it so they could win at something. Can't beat them at their sport.
And just, a tough Olympics continued for Michaela Schifrin as well. She skied out again, and it's tough scene.
Missed a gate, huh?
Missed a gate. She'll be back for the team competition, though, on Saturday.
Allegedly. Can't wait to see us lose that one, too. Why are we even still participating in this? It's a waste of money.
Look.
Nobody's watching the Olympics.
I'm pretty sure they won the Winter Olympics in 2018. I'd have to look that up, but I'm pretty sure the United States finished.
I'm going to bet. You can continue, but I'm going to bet you're wrong. I think the United States has not won the medal because we've been doing these Olympic updates for some time.
Not won the medal count?
I feel like we don't win the medal count in the Winter Olympics.
So they did take gold and silver in the United States did in slopestyle, men's slopestyle freestyle skiing. So that was a positive.
We were 4th in 2018.
They 4th in 2018. What
about
Norway,
Germany, Canada, the U.S. And we were a distant 4th. Norway was 39. We had 23 medals in 2018. I'm telling you, it's been a hot minute if we've ever won the medal count.
They've definitely won it before.
I don't know, man. Like
Sochi. What about Sochi?
I'm looking up Sochi right
was
now.
Terrible.
No, Russia, Norway, Canada, U.S. are 4th.
Wait a minute. That was in Russia. There was probably some shady stuff.
I'm telling you, bro. Like we don't win the medal table as they call it. We don't win that in the
Vancouver
Olympics.
in 2010 had to.
I'm telling you, Canada won it.
Okay, all right, seriously.
No, wait, no, they did. They couldn't have won it. They did. Yeah, no, it was Canada.
What
that
about
doesn't
Salt
make
Lake
sense.
City? What about Salt Lake City?
Germany had to have some wiped out. Oh, okay, they have it listed by gold. And no, we were 3rd in Sochi. No, in Vancouver. I'm sorry. Salt Lake. So you want me to go all the way back to 2002?
Look. Well, Canada's winning in Canada. Russia's winning in Russia.
You want to go to Lillehammer or Nagano in 90, Lillehammer in 94?
I'm just
saying.
That
was the Tanya Harding, Nancy Kerrigan thing.
Russia's
in Lillehammer.
winning in Russia. Canada's winning in Canada. Did we at least win on the home turf?
No, we were 3rd. We were 3rd.
Maybe we have never won it.
In total medals, we were 2nd in 2002.
Better.
Germany had 36, we had 34. Norway had 25, but we were 3rd in goals. Norway, Germany, U.S., and that's how they listed here as gold, silver, by gold.
Well, they're 3rd in gold right now. They're 3rd in gold right now, 4th in total
Let me see what we
medals.
did in Lillehammer. I'm now curious.
I think you just want to say Lillehammer.
I kind of do.
It's fun.
And Nancy Kerrigan was a total smoke show back in 94. She might still be. I don't know. Let's see. No, we didn't. Oh, wow. We were 5th in Lillehammer.
Oh, we don't want to talk about Lillehammer.
Wow.
What a bad showing.
5th. See, that's until we never win the medal in the Winter Olympics.
And you just pick it up a little bit.
No, we need to do is stop participating. It's stuff that's rigged against us. We can't win. We can't win. Kendall Rogers.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawbillsTire.com. 18 locations in South Louisiana, including their newest location in the LP. That's right. If you're in Denham, in Livingston Parish, you now have your very own Shawbills. ShawbillsTire.com to find the location nearest you. It might be the one right there in Denham off of I-12. ShawbillsTire.com. Bumper-to-bumper auto service. Name brand tires at wholesale prices. Drove Erica's car yesterday. Bing! Oil inspection due. She's not going to tell me. I would have had to drive it to figure it out. But nonetheless, for whatever the reason you find out, when you do need auto service, when you need maintenance, you need Shawbills. Bumper-to-bumper auto service. If it's a tire rotation, if it's an oil change, maybe you just got a check engine light on, standard maintenance, whatever it is, Shawbills can do it all. Bumper-to-bumper auto service. And no one is going to sell you better tires for cheaper prices than Shawbills. Find the location nearest you, ShawbillsTire.com. Shawbills.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
To the heroes who are working tirelessly to care for our communities, we thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
I mean, you guys are out on the front lines fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Ochsner Health.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
I'm Doug Brown. ESPN's Jesse Rogers reports there was little progress during a 15-minute bargaining session today between Major League Baseball and the Players Association. The MLB lockout is now in its 12th week, and spring training camps remain closed. This just in, a California jury finds former Angels communications director Eric Kay guilty of distributing fentanyl and causing the death of pitcher Tyler Skaggs in 2019. Kay will be sentenced on June 28th. Anthony Davis of the Lakers is having an MRI today on his right ankle. He left last night's game against the Jazz with a sprain. ESPN's Brian Windhorst says it'll be tough for the Lakers to make the playoffs.
The challenge is that the Lakers have the third most difficult remaining schedule. They just can't afford to not be able to be on top of their game if they're going to crawl into the postseason.
Anna Sherbakova wins gold in women's figure skating. 15-year-old Kamila Valieva, who skated under a cloud of doping allegations, finished fourth after falling twice during her free skate.
If you need to hire, then you need Indeed. The all-in-one hiring platform helps you schedule and conduct video interviews right from your employer dashboard. Finding your next great hire has never been more streamlined. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. That's right.
Hour 2. Off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us, AFR. Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
I appreciate it, bud. Have a good one.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Me, Uso. And Mr. Toby Tomplin. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Will Wade, 1 hour from right now. 1 day from now, LSU will open up the 2022 college baseball season and simultaneously the Jay Johnson era. Who better to talk to than Kendall Rogers, D1 Baseball. Good enough to join us for a couple of minutes. How are you, dude?
Man, I'm all right. The weather's awesome today, and I cannot wait for opening day. It's going to be a lot of fun, buddy.
Where are you going to be?
I will be at Globe Life, so, back in there at the controlled environment. It's supposed to be like 42 in Dallas, but the indoors it's going to be like 75. So we've got Arizona, who was in Omaha last year. Yeah. We've got Oklahoma, Michigan, Texas Tech, Kansas State. So it should be a lot of fun.
Of course, you'll have Arizona sans three major pieces with no Jacob Berry, no Riley Cooper, and, of course, no Jay Johnson. They'll all be in Baton Rouge. I was interested earlier this week where the coaches put out their projected order of finish, and in the West is, I think you'd probably agree, is a little more intriguing this year with Arkansas, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, LSU is how they projected it. Of those four, all of them lost significant arms. Who is in the best situation starting the season?
That's a really, really tough question. I would say probably, even without Peyton Follett, I would say Arkansas.
Okay.
The thing about Arkansas is, they get Connor Nolan on the front of the rotation this weekend. And granted, his numbers last year weren't great, but you're talking about a guy that was a couple of years ago, started Friday nights in the SEC. So you get a guy like that. You get Jackson Wiggins. I think Hagen Smith's a freshman that's going to make a huge impact for them. He's a premium arm. The question, Matt, is can he make a immediate transition to the SEC? That's always some uncertainty, but he's very talented. So I feel pretty good about their pitching depth. I think Mississippi State, with some of the pieces they have back. Obviously it's Christian McLeod, but Landon Sims and Preston Johnson, the weekend rotation. Obviously, both of those guys were huge pieces to the bullpen last year. But they would probably be next on my list. The question with them would be, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to move from the back end of the bullpen to a starter's role. It is much different. And so, it'd be interesting to see what happens there. But I'll say this about LSU. I did not see Blake Money being a Friday night starter a month ago. And the fact that they believe in him to start Friday night opening day all of a sudden makes me feel really good about this team, because I think the one question mark I had was Blake Money. When we talked in the fall, I thought he needed to be the guy to step up. And the fact that they're, willing to put those kind of chips in on him tells me a lot.
Okay, I want to dig a little deeper there. Why did you feel like he was the linchpin, so to speak?
I just think when you look at the options they have from a starting standpoint, that he has the best stuff. Granted, I kind of fall in the trap of seeing a guy one time and then, taking a total opinion of him after one look. But, I saw him last year in Baton Rouge against Vanderbilt, and it was electric for 2 innings. And granted, he kind of fell off the end of that outing. But, I mean, it was 94, 95, bumped to 96, Elena Marceau-esque slider. The stuff was really, really good. And I thought from that point on, hey, if this guy can put all the pieces together, like he could kind of be the next great starter here. And so I just felt like if you're LSU, like if your option is going into opening day with Devin Fontenot or going into opening day with a guy who has that kind of stuff, I think I'd feel better about your chances if you had the stuff guy there on Friday night as opposed to Fontenot. And I'm not trying to lie down on Devin, but on a Friday night in the SEC, you've got to have a guy with premium stuff, and he at least has that.
Kendall Rogers is with us. So let's stay on LSU then, I guess. We know it's going to be Money and then Mikhail Hilliard. Sunday is TBD. I was told that it's going to be between two guys. It's either going to be Ty Floyd or Will Helmers on Sunday. So how does that look? I mean, if that's your rotation, how does that look, Kendall? I mean, when you stack it up with the league and this team trying to be competitive.
I think it's solid. I mean, I don't think it's great, but I mean, the thing about Mikhail is you're going to get with the fastball, you're going to get with the changeup and the curveball. So what you see is what you get. He's a guy that's not going to be overly dominant every time out, but I think he's a steady arm. So he's not a bad arm on a Saturday. The Sunday roll is really interesting to me with Helmers and Ty Floyd. Ty Floyd's always been one of those guys that coming out of high school. He was a kid that was like 95, 96. Obviously, he hasn't thrown that since he arrived in Baton Rouge. I think it was either the arm issue coming out of high school or like his first ball there. But, he hasn't had that velo again yet. But clearly, he's a really talented guy. So, I mean, the good news is the rest of the SEC is in the same predicament. I think the rest of the SEC has a lot of question marks in the rotation. Even Vanderbilt, who is top 3 team in the country, they don't have Kumar Rocker or Jack Leiter. Like, they're relying on 2 freshmen in their weekend rotation. So the good news is everyone has question marks. I guess the bad news is outside of that group, let's say Blake Money fails, then all of a sudden I just don't think you have a guy in that rotation with what I would consider quote-unquote premium stuff.
Do you like Javen Coleman?
I do. I really thought towards the end of last year that he threw really well. So, I mean, I actually feel like if you had to ask me who I think has the best stuff out of Ty Floyd, Will Helmers, and Javen Coleman, I would go with Coleman. So it's kind of interesting that he's not starting.
Kendall Rogers with us here for a couple more minutes. Excited about opening day. Hey, I want to ask you about something close to your home, and that's, I mean, one of the understated storylines is Jim Schlossnagle. I mean, long-time successful coach at TCU, coming into the SEC now, taking the reins at Texas A&M. What's a realistic expectation there year one for Schloss?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing for them is they just got to get back to regional. I mean, this is a club that they have really, really had to hit the transfer portal hard. And they got some really nice players. I think A&M is going to be a lot better offensively. But kind of like the rest of the SEC, they've got some major question marks on the mound. I mean, they're going to start a kid by the name of Nathan Detmer, who started a lot of Sundays for them last year. They're relying on an ultra-talented freshman named Ryan Prager in a Sunday role. But, Nate Yeske, speaking of Arizona losing people, Arizona's pitching coach last year, Nate Yeske, is now at A&M. So the question with A&M is if Nate Yeske kind of work his magic a little bit, they could really surprise some people. Because to give you an idea how good this SEC is going into the season, we have South Carolina and A&M that are 9 and 10 teams. And I'm telling you right now, like I think those teams are probably more in the 3 to 5 range if they're in another conference. So I think both of those teams, specifically A&M, could be a lot better than expected. But there's no doubt Jim's changing some things over there. Some of the traditions they have over there in baseball, he's kind of tweaking. Aggies do not like you messing with traditions. And so there's been some people that have given him some blowback on that. And so, like, he has gone in there and said, you know what, we're going to run this thing like an elite program. We're going to make some changes, and that's what you hire me to do, so get used to it. I kind of like it.
What about over in the East? Vandy, even with the pitching questions that you mentioned, has certainly established themselves Tennessee was in Omaha a year ago. What else is there in the East this year?
Well, yeah, I think Tennessee is once again really intriguing. Blade Tidwell, their talented right-hander, I thought he would have been the best returning pitcher in the SEC. He's on the shelf for a while. Tony Vitello told me a couple of weeks ago they think he's only on the shelf for a month or two, but we all know how that can go. And so, without him, they're starting a freshman by the name of Chase Burns on Friday night this weekend against Georgia Southern in kind of a sneaky good series. He's up to 99 with his fastball, but again, if you're going in the SEC play with a freshman as your Friday guy, I'm a little worried about you, but they do have some offensive pieces back. I know, LSU fans were tired of seeing Drew Gilbert and Evan Russell last year. Those two guys are back, and, guys like Luke Lipskis are back as well. So they've got some nice offensive pieces. I think, if you look at the rest of the division, Florida under Kevin O'Sullivan, let's admit, I mean, it's a very tumultuous season for them last year, and for Sully, really. You have the bad season, you have kind of the personal stuff, you have the LSU kind of back and forth. Now we'll kind of see, now they've kind of washed that away, we'll see if Florida can kind of, regain their momentum. And, of course, Georgia and Vanderbilt. Georgia, Scott Strickland has another really good team. They really could have the sneaky kind of best rotation in the SEC. Jonathan Cannon's really good. They added Dylan Ross on the back end of the rotation, the ultra-talented JUCO pitcher. And then I think when you look at, Vanderbilt, we just talked about freshmen, they're going to start Carter Hogan, a left-handed freshman, on Saturday in their rotation. So just a lot of really interesting storylines all over this league. But at the end of the day, I think this league is as good as it gets and probably better than it ever has been.
Wow. Okay, before you go, everyone here is really pumped to watch this offense. I mean, they scrimmaged this past weekend, and you got Beloso hitting bombs out of the 8-hole. I mean, it's crazy to think how deep they're going to be. At this point, is LSU's offense overrated, underrated, properly rated?
Properly rated. I mean, the thing about LSU that's so different from last year is when you look at Jacob Berry, Dylan Cruz, Trey Morgan, Tyler McManus. I thought the day I was there in the fall was really powerful. He was hitting SEC pitching, so that was encouraging. And then you add in a guy like Cade Beloso, who's hit before. I know he struggled last year, but, you're talking about a guy who's hit before. I just think 1 through 9, I thought last year, if you got past Trey, you got past Dylan, you got past Gavin, I was like, okay, if you're a pitcher, you could really kind of breathe a sigh of relief. I think you were kind of in the clear. But this year, at 1 through 9, it's loaded. And I think Jordan Thompson's another guy I think is going to have a really good year. So, granted, they don't have a Todd Peterson in the lineup.
Ted
Peterson. Man. I gotcha.
You win. I can't believe you made it more than 10 minutes. I can't believe you made it more than 10 minutes without getting the Todd Peterson.
Ted Peterson.
Muse, how did you not just
have
your
I love
finger
it.
on
I can't
the
believe
button?
I got you.
Oh, man. Muse is over there. He's a little flustered right now.
Well, I'm a little bummed about that one.
bummed
I'm a little bummed about that.
He's a little rusty before opening day.
We need a Blake money drop. I mean, honestly.
I mean,
we got. I don't know that I want that. I want that. We got other options. We got plenty of options. We're gonna try them on all season.
$1 million.
It's got to say
right.
money. It's got. It's there's a bajillion ways we can go, and we're gonna do better than that. But anyway, yes, you were saying. By the way, I don't even remember what you were saying.
No, I just think that Todd Peterson would not play in this lineup. But no, I just think the offense is just so loaded, and the thing I really like about it too is Jay is going to be so different than what you're used to. I felt like previously things would be kind of station to station at times. Jay is one of those guys that a lot like I kind of compare it to the way the Raging Cajuns were back in the year they got to the Super Regional, where their 4-0 hitter was dropping down bunts. Jay's not quite that crazy. But, he's one of those guys that he will have somebody like Gavin Dugas, if the situation presents itself, go out there and throw down a bunt. So he's going to find a way to move runners. And whether it's Dylan Cruz, Trey Morgan, or Gavin, they're going to have to, they're going to have to execute.
Kendall Rogers, D1Baseball.com. It is time, y'all. If you're not yet, go subscribe up at D1Baseball.com, D1Baseball.com. You want college baseball information? It's the best place to go get it, D1Baseball.com. He's Kendall Rogers. Thank you, as always, for the time. I'll be bothering you a lot now that it's baseball season again.
You got it, man. That's always good to hear you. We'll see everybody in Shriners here in a couple weeks.
Looking forward to it, man. We'll see you. That is Kendall Rogers. This is After Further Review. Yeah, so Jeff Hodges just texted and said, Pink Floyd money. That's an option.
Show me the money, Jerry Maguire.
Show me the money is one. We could go Swingers, Baby You're So Money You Don't Even Know It, which is cult classic. That one could be popular. There's a bajillion songs with money.
Do you want me to just get Lil Wayne saying Cash Money?
Like that's his brother,
That's
right?
his brother. Oh. Okay, well, when his brother inevitably comes to LSU, we're doing that.
Yes, I mean, there's a lot of options there. So let us know whatever option you would like. Text me in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Text me or tweet me at Matt Moscona which money drop you would like us to use, and we'll try them on. Maybe that's what we'll do. Like, as the season starts, we'll try it on and see which one feels, which shoe fits the best.
I like it.
Okay. When you start, you have is it possible to have a rotator over there?
I'm not sure. I'd have to ask Cade. That's a Cade question, so I could ask Cade if we can actually do that in this operating system. I think we can because we do for one thing. I don't know how to make it, though. I have to learn how to make it.
So we can. That's the answer is that we can.
I have to learn how to make it, though.
Okay, got it. We're going to learn. We're going to do that because I'm looking forward to the Blake money drops. That's happening, by the way. Sazerac bottle.
Can't believe Kendall got me.
Oh, I was stunned.
He got me.
I was stunned. I mean, honestly.
The last time we had him on, I did have it queued up. And
he normally comes right at the shoot with
it. Yeah.
I mean, it's normally boom. I mean, so I was ready for it. I was surprised. I mean, I'm surprised that he held out as long as he did, which really what he did is he lulled you into complacency.
Of course, and it makes sense.
It was a crafty veteran move there by Kendall Rogers. All right, it is After Further Review. Thanks for being here with us. We're brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. We'll knock out a quick break. I did an interview earlier today and was asked a very interesting question about LSU's transfer portal losses and gains. So I want to present it to you. We'll do that next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Pluckers. Oh, my goodness. Tomorrow is the day. Tomorrow is the day. LSU baseball. Baseball at the box returns. Do you realize how close Pluckers is to the box? I mean, you leave the box, you make a left, you head up to Nicholson. I mean, and you are like staring. Just to your right, you're staring at Pluckers. Nicholson, just south of campus, just south of the box. Bluebonnet right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. Let's be real. Look, you're going to go to the box. It's awesome. Get a bite before or after the game. They're open until midnight or later every night of the week. But it's freezing. It's literally going to be freezing tomorrow. If you don't want to go brave the frigid temps, no problem. Go watch the game at Pluckers. Don't have SEC Network Plus? No worries. They will have every game home and away all season long at both Pluckers locations. Nicholson, Bluebonnet, dine in, carry out, 24 flavors of award-winning jumbo chicken wings, ice cold draft beer, full-service bar, and your home for Tiger baseball. Pluckers. You like our wings with the bird?
Are you looking for a new vehicle? Come on down to Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, where you'll never pay over MSRP. There's no markups and no gains. You can reserve yours today. So what are you waiting for? Come on down to Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
After Review with presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
I rolled along. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. We'll wait in 38 minutes from right now to start hour number 3. We'll also talk to Mike Triplett in hour number 3. Saints have settled on Pete Carmichael as their offensive coordinator and still searching for a defensive coordinator. And then what are they going to do to get within cap compliance? We'll talk about all that with Mike Triplett coming up in about 38 minutes from right now. Excuse me, I'm sorry, in about an hour from right now, Mike Triplett. So earlier today, I did an interview on the Chuck Oliver Show. My buddy Dan Matthews was filling in for Chuck, and we were talking a little LSU, Brian Kelly, early part of the tenure, making over the roster, sort of look ahead to spring football. And Dan asked me an interesting question, and I didn't really have a great answer. He said, what transfer are the fans most excited for? And I kind of paused because most of the time when you do an interview like that, you get asked the same questions in every interview, right? And so and it's all generally stuff we've talked about and things I've answered, so I'm very comfortable. I mean, it just, you're just answering it the same thing in a different way, but it's the same opinion that you'd give anywhere else. And I honestly had not thought about that. Like, which of the transfers are people here most excited about? And I think it was hard to land on that number because, man, LSU hasn't hit the home run individually. You know what I mean? There isn't the quarterback or the 5-star. If you want to contrast, like, look at, or A&M is probably most excited about Max Johnson. Zach Calzada transfers out, Max Johnson transfers in. Fans there are going to be most interested in looking at Max Johnson because that's probably their starting quarterback. Alabama, they're probably most interested in Elias Ricks because they got a 5-star, number 1 potential first-round cornerback transferring in. That makes sense, right? Why they would be there. When you look at what LSU has nabbed, a lot of players at positions of need. I mean, no question, guys that, like, positions they had to go address. You know, they bring in Colby Fields, the linebacker from South Carolina, Jarek Bernard-Converse, the cornerback from Oklahoma State, Mekhi Wingo, the defensive lineman, a couple of offensive linemen, including a Tremont Shorts from East Tennessee State, all the defensive backs like Greg Brooks, and, you know, you all know the list by now. Joe Fouché. Noah Cain, the running back from Penn State. I mean, they have brought in a lot of guys because they had to make over their roster. LSU had to boost their numbers with guys who had played college football before. So I didn't have an answer about who fans were most excited about because I don't know if there is an individual. I mean, maybe Noah Cain because he's kind of was the biggest name when he was being recruited out of IMG and went to Penn State. So maybe that. But I took it a different way, and I said the better question isn't who are they most excited about. The better question is which is the most important. And I think the most important transfers that LSU got are Jark Bernard-Converse and Mekhi Garner, the cornerbacks. For obvious reasons. You lost your 2 starting corners. And we've gone through this, but you lost Elias Ricks. You lost Dwight McGlothern. You lose, obviously, Stingley to the draft. You only return, you lost Cordell Flott to the draft. You only returned 2 cornerbacks, and neither had played. So you had literally 0 experience. So to bring in 2 guys that have major college football starting experience, one of them was all Big 12, it's just massively significant. Those 2 guys you would assume are going to step out on the field, day 1, snap 1, whatever, and be your starter the first snap of spring football. Because who else is going to do it? I mean, they're the guys to beat at those spots. And then I would also mention, number 2, Miles Frazier and Tremont Shorts, the 2 offensive linemen, because you lose 4 starting offensive linemen. The reason I would say the cornerbacks are more important than the offensive linemen, not necessarily because they are more important positionally, but you have offensive linemen that have started games for you already. Cam Wire has started. Garrett Dellinger has started at multiple spots. Anthony Bradford, Xavier Hill, Charles Turner, all these guys have started for you before. Cardell Thomas started a game at the end of the year. You have guys that have started. You just don't have guys that have played exceptionally well. You don't have guys that have solidified a spot. But you have at least experience. The 2 guys you brought in are starting players that are really good starting players. At cornerback, you don't have anybody with experience. So you need those guys to come in and be dudes from jump. The other thing, too, is, where the holes are. And we've talked about that a little bit. And the holes, we all know, tight end is the biggest need still remaining. And, I also would love to see if there's the possibility of adding an edge rusher, another defensive end. I'd love your starters with Ali Gay coming back and B.J. Ojolari. But after that, it's guys that have been around, but not guys that have done much. So if you have an opportunity to add someone that's got some skins on the wall as part of your rotation as an edge rusher, that would be awesome. Easier said than done, though. I understand. But linebacker is the one I think that they've settled the most. That was going to be just a massive position. It was a massive position of need. And I think they've done a tremendous job. Getting Micah Baskerville to return was huge, obviously. And Mike Jones is back as well. So you have those 2 guys with a lot of experience. They're very high on Greg Penn, as we talked about late in the season. Then you add Colby Fields from South Carolina, who's a Louisiana guy. You add West Weeks, the transfer from Virginia. You have you get Harold Perkins, the big 5-star. Your numbers at linebacker are settled, and you've got 2 veteran starters and 2 young veterans in Colby Fields and West Weeks who are transfers coming in behind that can be part of the rotation. So I think you've settled yourself there, which is great to see. But if you're going into spring football looking at the position battles, it's easy. It's cornerback, and it's every spot on the offensive line, how that all rectifies, which is why I think those spots are so big in this transfer portal as well. But if there is like a player that you're super excited to see as part of this transfer class, let me know. It is after further review. You can always tweet us at Matt Moscona at 1045 ESPN. You can jump in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat. You can always tweet us at Matt Moscona, or you can text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Lots of ways you can get involved in the show. I did ask a bit ago, maybe this can be our poll question of the day, Muse. What should the drop be for a Blake Money? Eric Gautreaux mentioned Ted DiBiase, $1 Million Man. And that's a really good one because it's like right from the end of the money. Yeah. Money. That's a great one.
That's a good. That'd be really good.
Muse just sang on air.
Yeah.
Also,
everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man.
Also, the Shane McMahon, Here Comes the Money, although that has been Gordy's break-in song.
That's
for a lot of years.
Yeah, there's a different different. People think about something different.
Clayton O'Callahan mentioned Lil Wayne. Johnny Wheeler said Cash Money taking over for the 99 and the 2000, but that doesn't say money in it. I guess cash money. Yeah,
we gotta say that for his brother.
That's tough.
We gotta say that for his brother.
I'm
literally the man's name.
Yeah.
What choices do you want to include?
Chris LaCroix, stale cracker. That's money, dude.
That'd be awesome, actually.
I don't even know what that is.
That'd be so good.
You're gonna have to play that for me. I don't know what that is.
Stale cracker. I love it. That's great.
Ronnie Jenkins said, well, this is from ODB. It said, expletive better have my money, but take out the expletive. From hey, Daddy, baby, I got your money, don't you worry. Say. So we got some good options.
Good.
I'm excited. This is why we need a rotator. We got good options here.
Well, I was going to say, speaking of options, what do you want this poll to be? What options on this poll? Because we just went through
I don't know. You figure it out. That's where you're over there. Figure it
out.
Yeah,
I'm gonna figure it out. You're gonna see the poll, hate the options, and then take it out on me.
Probably so. Yeah. What's your point? That's how this works.
That's a very
not.
Healthy.
It's a very healthy dialogue here.
No,
that's
I'm trying to satisfy the sponsor and get good options in an intriguing poll. And
I'm going to do whatever I want anyway. So just put up the poll. Doesn't matter. Just put up we have to put up a poll.
You're right.
Put up the poll.
I could let you pick the options and it'd still be my fault somehow.
No, it is. I'm saying it's not going to matter what happens with the poll. We're just going to do a rotator. I'm trying to satisfy the sponsor. That's what I'm trying to do here.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Then you get so combative. Just satisfy the sponsor. Who's the sponsor, by the way?
Citizens Bank and Trust.
There it is. Put it on a tee for you.
Smoking down the fairway. Love it.
432. Interesting you're talking about smoking down the fairway. Walked right into that one, big guy.
Yeah, kind of did.
It's after further review.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Clegg's Nursery. Lots of plants over at Clegg's Nursery. Not those kinds of plants. Buy local, shop local. Beautiful flowers, plants, trees, shrubs. Gorgeous. If you want to pop a color during this gray, drab time of year to your garden, they have great flowers and plants that thrive this time of year as well. Great options over at Clegg's. And if you're not sure, just ask one of their horticulturists. They're awesome people that they have all the answers that you could possibly need. I want to remind you also, partner with True Value Hardware Store. So if you're checking off the honeydews, anything you'd find at a True Value Hardware Store, you can also find at Clegg's Nursery. Fellas, I mean, football season is now really, really over. The Super Bowl is done. I mean, you have nothing else. You have no excuse to park it on the couch all weekend watching football. So if you're checking off the honeydews, get by Clegg's Nursery. And remember, this Saturday at the Clegg's on Segan, it's the Dream Quest Scavenger Hunt benefiting the Dream Day Foundation. Learn more at dreamdayfoundation.org.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Bayou Ford has 0.9% for 60 months on new Ford F-150 plus $1,000 bonus cash. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. And right now, get $1,000 bonus cash plus 0.9% APR for 60 months on new 2021 Ford F-150. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
At All Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All Star Toyota today.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Jesse is a friend. Yeah, I know he's been a good friend of mine. But lately something's changed. It ain't hard to define. Jesse's got himself a girl and I wanna make her mine.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona. Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
This will be music to LSU and Cincinnati Bengals fans' ears alike. One big question has been, okay, Mike Brown, the owner of the Bengals, son of the late Paul Brown, who founded both the Browns and the Bengals, has been the owner since 1991, notorious cheapskate. They have money. He ain't like to spend the money. He's been the owner since 1991. They haven't really been, I mean, they've been to the playoffs. They haven't been massively competitive. They have had the Bungles years in there, but had a long history of success with Carson Palmer and Andy Dalton, but never won a playoff game. Well, now here they are, and they've arrived. First time in the Super Bowl since 1988. And the big question is Mike Brown actually going to try to get Joe Burrow some help? Is he willing to spend money? The Bengals, for what it's worth, have $48.7 million in cap space. Contrast that with the Saints, which are $70 million over the cap. The Bengals have $48 million to spend before they cut anybody or whatever they may do. Mike Brown, the owner of the Bengals, did an interview with the team's website and said, quote, Joe is a smart player that shines through. He's accurate. He's tough as nails. We want to do some things to help him. This team has what Paul Brown prized most, the ability to throw the ball. So the owner of the Bengals is saying, quote, we want to do some things to help him, meaning Burrow. For whatever it is worth, there are free agent offensive lineman options. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Cincinnati Bengals look at one here. I want to remind you, two of the bigger Bengals free agent signings in the last half decade are two former New Orleans Saints, Trey Hendrickson this past year and Von Bell. So maybe it's one of those things where the Bengals like the Saints organization, like Saints players, like the structure. I don't know. I don't know if there's anything really to that or if it's just coincidental. But I really legitimately believe that Teron Armstead could be a target for the Cincinnati Bengals. When you look at the best free agent tackles available in this free agent class, Nate Solder, who's 33 years old, but made $15.5 last year. If you're just looking at by the money they made a year ago, Nate Solder made $15.5. Cam Robinson, $13.7, 26 years old. Then there's Teron Armstead, 30 years old, made $13 million this past year. So Dwayne Brown, Trent Brown, some of the others that are listed there. But if you're looking at free agent possibilities for the Bengals, I wouldn't rule out Teron Armstead. If the Saints can't step up and pay him, that's certainly a possibility that Teron Armstead could be a target. When you look at the offensive line, free agents that are available, Brandon Scherf is on the list, of course. Andrew Norwell, Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, Alex Lewis, Laken Tomlinson. If you're interested, there's actually a couple of former LSU Tigers that are free agents this year, and Trey Turner and Ethan Posick, who maybe could end up as possibilities for the Bengals as well. So Mike Brown says that he wants to get Joe Burrow some help. That's great news. Where does the help come from in free agency? Remains to be seen. They have money to spend. Of course, they will spend draft picks on the offensive line as well. But for what it's worth, the head coach of the Bengals, Zach Taylor, said that he doesn't think the issue, that it's that big of an issue there in Cincinnati, and he might be high.
I think we'll just look to improve the team in any way that we can, and not specific to one necessary group. The offensive line helped us get to the Super Bowl, and they gave us opportunities to go win the Super Bowl. And everything always falls on them statistically, but that's not always the case. There's play calls that could be better to help put them in a better position. And so there's a lot that plays into all that. And again, they were an offensive line that helped us get to the Super Bowl and gave us opportunities to win. And I think they should be commended for that.
A respect that he's a head coach going to bat for his guys and a former quarterback that is not going to hang his offensive line out to dry in the media, but Zach Taylor is lying through his teeth. That offensive line was horrendous. Joe Burrow, if you remember, got tangled up in week 17 as well, hurt his knee, gets hurt again in the Super Bowl, blew out his knee last year. This is your franchise, and your offensive line is atrocious. You got to get him help, and they're going to get him help here in this offseason. The big question is, will free agents go to Cincinnati? And Zach Taylor is putting out his best sales pitch.
Money is attractive to players, first of all. Number two, you want that combined with a place that they feel like they can win games and be a part of a place where they enjoy coming to work every single day. And I think that people have seen that from afar, from our own players' actions, from how we've played on the field. And they see that this is a team that has a really solid foundation that's built for the future. I anticipate players wanting to be a part of that. Every year is going to be different in terms of what our needs are and what our approach is through the draft and free agency. There's certainly some players on our own team that are up that we want to be a big part of our future as well. And again, those conversations will be ongoing here over the next couple of weeks.
That is Zach Taylor. It is just in a brief moment of candor. It's kind of odd that I'm sitting here today in a studio in downtown Baton Rouge, being broadcast to Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and then predominantly fans of Louisiana sports, and golf, that I'm breaking down the Cincinnati Bengals cap situation and why free agents may want to go there. That's just how much interest people have in Joe Burrow and what he might be able to do in Cincinnati. I mean, it's an undeniable truth right now, and we're going to talk more Bengals here than we probably ever have before because of Joe Burrow. All right, it's after further review. MyCleanLiving.net went last week to San Francisco. You all know that. Brought my Fresh Air Mobile. This Fresh Air Mobile that's sitting right here on the set with me. This can purify up to 500 square feet, air and surfaces. You ever seen those like black light videos in hotel rooms with all the germs and everything on the walls? Plug that thing in. It will neutralize all of that air and surface. So if you're traveling for Mardi Gras, a lot of people during Mardi Gras get out of town. If that's you and you're going to be staying in a hotel, go to the website, mycleanliving.net, buy a Fresh Air Mobile, be delivered in a few days, take it with you on your trip, plug it in as soon as you're at your hotel, and boom, it'll purify your whole hotel room. Then put it in your car, put it in your office, take it with you wherever you go. Purify your air and your surfaces in those spaces wherever you spend your day-to-day life. The Fresh Air Mobile purifies 500 square feet. There's a Air and Surface Pro, which we have all throughout this building. 3,000 square feet. Those purify. MyCleanLiving.net to learn more or order online. If you have questions, you can call the local rep, Jennifer. Her number's there at the top of the home screen, 413-2299, 413-2299, or MyCleanLiving.net. Pels are back on the floor tonight. They take on Luka and the Mavs. It is a 7 o'clock tip on Bally Sports New Orleans. Of course, you can listen to it on our New Orleans affiliate, 100.3 ESPN New Orleans. Opportunity to see 3J McCollum, who met with reporters today during shoot-around, had this to say about the compressed schedule so far since he's been in New Orleans.
It's been tough. A lot of games in a few amount of days, but you got to take care of your body, get your rest, and do what you're supposed to do to get through it.
So it's an opportunity tonight against Dallas as New Orleans continues trying to work its way into the play-in, which maybe the most encouraging thing that we saw today was some whispers that Zion potentially could come back after the All-Star break. And, maybe this is what it took, right? Maybe it took the McCollum trade to show him, hey, look, we're serious about winning now. With B.I., with C.J. McCollum, and you, that's our version of the three-headed monster. And at 23-35 right now, you're not winning a division or anything this year, but it'd certainly be a playoff team. You could be a dangerous one if you're healthy and churning by the time that May and June roll around. So you're 58 games into the season. You'll be 59 games into the season. So we're well past the halfway point. The All-Star break is just later. But this is a team that very much is in the mix for that 10 spot and for the play-in. I mean, they're 4 games behind the Lakers, who are in the 9 seed, and they're a half game behind Portland, who's in the 10, which is the last play-in spot. So that is very much within their reach that they can be in the play-in. I don't think they're going to climb all the way up into the top 8. I guess they could theoretically. They're 4 games behind the Lakers, 5 games behind the Clippers. It's doable, but realistically, just get yourself a taste of the postseason. It's a very, very realistic possibility for this team. All right, and they play tonight, 7 o'clock at the Blender against the Dallas Mavericks. It's after further review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. We'll knock out a quick break. Muse will have Tigers and the Pros. If you want to bet on that game tonight, Pels, Mavs, DraftKings, that's the way to go. The official sports betting partner of the NBA. It is DraftKings. And when you sign up, download the DraftKings app. Again, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. I got to clarify. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. When you do, use the promo code Baton Rouge, and for a $1 bet, you could win $150 in free bets if your team wins. So a $1 bet, use the promo code Baton Rouge. You could win $150 in free bets if you win that game. It's just that simple. They also offer same-game parlays. You can combine bets for the same game or bigger payout. More legs you add, the more money you win. It is at the DraftKings Sportsbook. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. Bet just $1 on any NBA team. Get $150 in free bets if they win. Promo code Baton Rouge at the DraftKings Sportsbook app, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. And here comes the disclaimer. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Availability varies by parish. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for full terms and conditions. Licensee partner Golden Nugget, Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-7-STOP. And you know what I also have to remind you of? 1 hour from right now on this very air, Jimmy Ott will be here for Otterlocks. And he will be giving you picks from California! 2-0 last week. Get ready to get rich. Cash some tickets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Sign up today and get ready to get rich. Colucci's picks are coming up in an hour. It's AFR.
AFR.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
6G. Network.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All Star Toyota today.
This isn't just another day, it's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Bayou Ford has 0.9% for 60 months on new Ford F-150 plus $1,000 bonus cash. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. And right now, get $1,000 bonus cash plus 0.9% APR for 60 months on new 2021 Ford F-150. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
We'll wait in less than 10 minutes right now. Muso, Tigers in the Pro.
Tigers in the Pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
Brooklyn Nets, they traded for Ben Simmons. They have Kyrie Irving, depending on where the game's being played. They have Kevin Durant. Do they really need him? I don't know, because they have Cam Thomas. And the run that Cam Thomas is on here in February is just been phenomenal. 30 minutes last night to help lead the comeback over the Knicks. Did you see the shot at the end?
I did.
To ice the game, to win the game?
There it is.
Deep three, man. Steph Curry levels of deep from Cam Thomas. Part of his 21 points, added 4 rebounds, as well with 2 assists, 9 of 21 from the field.
He good. Gotta tell him, bro.
He didn't pass the ball enough when he was here. Then
Somebody literally texted me to say, "But you imagine if he had come back and worked on his defense?" Like, hey.
He just
shut up. Like,
he dropped 30
in an NBA game. He is playing NBA. Shut up. Stop it.
It'd be great to have him on this team, but I mean, come on.
Wonderful to have him on this team.
Come on. Trendon Watford, 15 minutes for the Blazers, 1 of 1 from the field. It was a 3-point play off of with a and 1. 4 rebounds to go along with the 3 points. Naz Reid last night for the Minnesota Timberwolves, losing effort, but Naz, 14 minutes, 2 of 2 from the floor for 4 points. Added 6 rebounds. That was third on the team. 2 assists, 2 blocks, and a steal. Genesis Invitational on the PGA Tour. Sam Burns is in the field along with the entire top 10 in the world golf rankings. Sam Burns even par today for his round. That currently has him off the lead of... I closed my app out. That was my fault. Off the lead of Jordan Spieth and Scotty Scheffler and Joaquin Niemann. He's 5 shots back as those players are at 5 under par. Again, even par for Sam Burns today at the Genesis. That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, LMFJ.com. LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Check them out there or just walk into any Lee Michaels location. One thing I guarantee, you will find beautiful diamonds, the highest quality diamonds. And no matter your budget, you will get the Lee Michaels experience. They're fantastic. LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Hour 3 next.
AFR.
Brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. If you're looking for a stylish ride, South Point Volkswagen has that. If you're looking for great technological features like digital display, electric everything, Bluetooth, navigation on the dash, all of it, Volkswagens naturally have that. You get the great German engineering. If you're looking for safety, of course, Volkswagen has that as well. 9 different IIHS top safety picks. That's the highest safety designation. And you're even supporting local jobs. Every Volkswagen that's sold at South Point Volkswagen is manufactured right here in the USA at their Tennessee plant. Airline just north of Highland or southpointvw.com. New or certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge or online. It's South Point Volkswagen. Shop them online and test drive one today. It's South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland. What's your direction?
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside, off the bench, Hunt and Hill, the early line. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has new Jeep Gladiator Rubicons in stock with $2,000 off MSRP. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. And right now, get $2,000 bonus cash on new 2021 Jeep Gladiator. Shop now at BayouCDJR.com. The crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors. It's the law.
This is Sportscenter.
I'm Doug Brown. ESPN's Jesse Rogers reports a baseball bargaining session today lasted just 15 minutes with little progress. Spring training games are scheduled to start a week from Saturday. The MLB lockout started 2.5 months ago. ESPN has learned Michigan coach Jim Harbaugh will have his salary restored to where it was before it was cut last season, all after Harbaugh interviewed for the Vikings job. ESPN's Paul Feinbaum.
He didn't get the job, so he crawls back to Michigan, and Ward Manuel, the AD, really has no option. He extends Harbaugh's contract by a year. This is not that dramatic. And I think the two sides are stuck with each other. This marriage is going nowhere. Michigan has a good team for next year, but the optics of this, to me, are really bad.
Harbaugh gets a new 5-year deal with a base salary of just over $7 million. At the Olympics, 33-year-old American speed skater Brittany Bowe wins the first individual medal of her career, a bronze in the 1,000 meters, and the U.S. women's hockey team takes silver, falling 3-2 to Canada.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. At Progressive, they're making things even easier. They'll help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save on both. Learn more at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here.
New Orleans, Alexandria, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us, AFR. Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
Thanks, bud. I appreciate it.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Muso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us, and very glad to welcome our good bud, Coach Will Wade, to the show. Coach, it's a pleasure as always. Thanks for the time. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are we doing, Matt?
Doing really well. Thanks for the time as always. I wanted to start just curious, have you been able to find any guards this year?
We have a real guard.
We got a good one. We've got a few good ones. So
good.
We're in decent shape there now that we're all healthy. We can't take on much more water on the injury front. But as long as we stay healthy, we'll be in good shape there.
I just hope Cobble's listening. That's really the only reason I wanted to play that. I also wanted to ask you about gold uniforms. Why, you're not a fan of the golds? What's going on, man? That's a beautiful
No, I don't
combo.
like them.
Why?
I don't like them much at all.
That's devastating.
One, I'm not into. Usually when you wear them, they do gold outs and stuff like that. I think that stuff's all cheesy. And like, if you've got a good program, I don't think you should be doing stupid stuff like that.
Okay.
I think that's what happens. Like when I was at VCU, we were in the A10 and we were like the main attraction in the A10, and so like everywhere we went, they put foam fingers and had, T-shirts. They had all that sort of stuff. And I used to always joke with our guy. I just think that stuff, I don't know. I think every game's important. I think when you put more emphasis on one game than the other, and you do stuff like that, I think it. I don't know. I'm just not a big fan.
No, I agree. So I agree with you on that completely.
And so our first year we wore the golds. We did a gold out against Kentucky, which I was totally against, but we did that, and we got beat by Kentucky, and then we wore them again the next year against somebody and got beat. And so I'm just, then our guys wear them because they can wear black with them, so they can match all their accessories and all that junk. And so I think I've worn them against Northwestern State a couple times. They want to wear them again. I got a recruit 2023. He loves gold uniforms. His high school has gold uniform. I told him I'd wear 4 or 5 times a year, and he could pick the games if he came here. You may. I can't talk about the kid, but you may get your wish. You may get your wish if he comes. If he signs with us, you may get your wish.
So I don't want to get bogged down into this convo because there's other stuff I want to talk to you about. But like this, I feel like we're peeling back layers of the onion, and this is the stuff that we could hear you talk about, fouling or whatever on press conferences. But this is like, I love the golds. I'm with you. I think the gold game, I've laughed at that for years. They do it in football too. It's a thing to sell shirts or whatever. But the golds are beautiful. Just wear them all the time. Ditch the purples, go to the golds. White and gold. Stick with that. How about that?
I'd be up for that. I mean, I just think the best teams show. Nobody worries about uniforms. They just show up and wear their traditional uniforms and they win. And so I'm not opposed to. I kind of like our purple uniforms, but I'm not opposed to. I'm not opposed to the golds in that sense.
Consider it. What if we do a Twitter poll? If the Twitter poll says gold, will you go with it?
I'm not going to go that far.
Okay. I got to shoot my shot, man. All right, Will Wade's with us. Okay. You mentioned recruiting, by the way. I know you can't talk about specific recruits, but I was thinking about this earlier today. You've had some big success here of late. I know you can't mention names, but from the time you got here, because when I was preparing for the interview, I was doing some research of your first year. How has your recruiting pitch changed from then to now with the success you've had? Or has it?
Look, we have the same plan, and we use some of the same planning and everything that we've done with when we go through what we're going to do for each kid and how we're going to develop them and how we're going to, everything with that. Now, we've got a few more skins on the wall now in terms of guys in the NBA. And, initially it was, look, this is what we've done. This is how we've gotten these guys a lot better that were 2- and 3-star recruits at other schools we've been to. We put you in these same systems. You're going to be able to do X, Y, and Z. And now, we've been able to show that, look, we put these high-level guys in this type system and done this, and that. And this is the results. Obviously, how well Cam played last night, and how well Trendon's playing right now. Javante just getting the 2-way, and then obviously Skylar and Nas and a lot of those guys. And so, all of that kind of speaks for itself. And we're able to look. I mean, to get it going, we had to take some. We're just able to get. Now we're in with a different level kid. Than we were in with before. I know it sounds, everybody looks at the rankings and the numerics and all that, and I'm not sure that's changed that much. But the ones that we're in within that range are they're just a lot different.
Yeah,
they're a lot different, and it's good for the growth of the program.
Coach, there's the other part I wanted to ask was about like Tari. Okay, I mean, so he comes here, and I mean, we all can look at his stat line, what it was a year ago. He had 6 total games last year where he scored in double figures. What wasn't? And I'm not trying to knock Cincinnati or anything, but like, was it something that you saw in him that they didn't, or is it just how you're using him? Because he's gone from a guy that was a role player to a lottery pick. So what's happened there?
Well, we may have our first one and done transfer. You don't think that'll help us in the old transfer portal, do you?
I'm pumped about it, man, because it means you're getting lottery picks. Let's go.
These will be the first one and done transfers. We'll be pretty lethal in the portal this spring. But I mean, look, it's a combination. It's a combination of things. One, we're playing to his strengths. 2, he's extremely, and I'm not saying they didn't play to his strengths, but they were. I mean, look, when you play to a player's strengths, you've got to be willing to overlook some weaknesses and scheme around and do some different things around weaknesses. And we were just, the way we play is just a little bit better suited to do that for him. That's not a knock on Cincinnati. 2, he's an extremely, extremely, extremely hard worker. He was already unbelievably talented, but I've never had a kid who, I mean, let's be real. This is all pretty new to him too. This has gone, you know, the computer spits out numbers and he's even exceeded those. But this has gone, you know, well better than even he thought. And he's been able to stay grounded and work and do the back. Like I've never seen a kid that's had something come to him so quick. Shoot, I got kids on the team that have one good game and then they quit working out for, you know, until I start yelling at them for 3 days. He doesn't. I mean, he's had, like you said, a good game after good game after good game, and he's in the same routine and he just sticks with it. So that sort of self-discipline is very, very rare to find in somebody. It's very even rarer to find in somebody when it hits pretty quick. Because the first, you know, it's just human nature. The first, you know, everybody's first reaction is to relax a little bit, chill a little bit, and he has zero of that in him. And then, you know, really what we do and how we play just fits him really, really well. We knew that. I mean, you have to take, you know, you got to take the portal's great, but you got to take the right guys. We obviously hit on Pinson, we hit on Eason, and we more than hit on Adam Miller if he wasn't hurt. Yeah. You got to take the right guys. There's a team in our league that's very, very talented, and I don't want to say the team, but in my opinion, they're missing one piece, and they missed on a kid in the portal that they thought was going to be really good. If they had him and he was good, they'd be almost unbeatable in our league. And I used that example with our staff the other day. I said, guys, we can't take a lemon. Like, we got to know exactly what we're getting when we get in the portal. Like, you can't take a lemon. And you know, I think we'll be, you know, in a good position to make sure we're getting the right guys. And we've got some analytic help, some video help. There's a lot of stuff that we do to try to mitigate our risks as much as we can. But look, he's a hard worker. Our system obviously fits him a little bit better. We let him play through some things that maybe frustrated Cincinnati that doesn't frustrate me as much, or I don't really worry about as much. And, you know, we just play more to his natural strengths. You know, like in Cincinnati, we play him at the 4 and the 5. We play him at the 3 some. Cincinnati, he was strictly a 5. So, like, he couldn't show that he could steal the ball or block the ball because they're icing side ball screens and doing all sorts of other stuff where we're just switching him. So he doesn't have to think. He can just go and play off his natural reaction and go swat the ball and stay in front of the ball and go steal the ball off the switch. Like, he can just play off his natural reactions a little bit more than what he was doing there.
By the way, you're going to put him in the starting lineup?
I like our rotations as they are.
I got 2 more things real quick. You also mentioned Pinson. Look, I think earlier this week when you mentioned about how other Blue Bloods, if they were without a guy like that, it would be mentioned everywhere. I think that was pretty calculated on your part, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. But do you feel like that works? Like the committee will hear that, and that's something that could actually be considered come Selection Sunday?
Well, it is considered. I mean, it's considered based on where, you know, we got to have him healthy on Selection Sunday, and then it's certainly considered. That's part of their process, and we have to submit some paperwork on that and all that, which we'll certainly do. But you know, I think it's something that, you know, you hear everybody on TV talk about this and that. When I'm watching other games and preparing for other games, sometimes I have the volume on, sometimes I don't. But they're, you know, talking about this kid and that kid. He missed this amount of games, and it's almost like they're making an excuse for the team because he missed some games, and we don't get any of that. So they just lost 6 out of 7. We lost 6 out of 7 without our point guard. So that's just you know, that's just part of life, and I'm cool with it. I mean, I don't want any breaks. I don't want anybody to feel sorry for us. I don't care about any of that. But you know, we should be judged on what we look like with our whole team, as long as we have our whole team, you know, when we're going into the big dance. And so you know, I just you know, we judge based on our body with our whole team. It's pretty good. It's a lot different group.
Last thing, very much appreciate your time as always. I went back and looked. Is this right? This is your 5th year. You've only played at South Carolina once in year 1. It was the overtime loss.
No, we played twice. We played there 2 years ago as well. We beat them there 2 years ago.
Okay, I must have missed that. So, but it's a
place. We played there our first year, and then we've only played them once every year. And you know, the SEC does 3 permanent partners, and you trade off the other 2. So, like, our 3 permanent partners are Arkansas, Alabama, and A&M. So we play those three twice every year. This year we got Kentucky and Tennessee. Imagine that. And like South Carolina's got a quirky. Their permanent partners. They've got Georgia and Florida, and then they've got freaking Mississippi State. That's a hell of a rivalry, isn't it, Matt? Mississippi State and South Carolina. What a rivalry, right? Great permanent partner. So I'm saying that to say we've only played them once each year, and we played them there our first year, and we played them there our third year as well.
The only question I was going to ask. I know you're such a routine-oriented guy. I know we've gone long, but you're such a routine-oriented guy. When you haven't been to a place, or I even looked up your entire career to see if you.
Well, I tell you what screws us up more than anything. This is one of the 3 trips where we go to the Eastern Time Zone, and so that messes us up even more than anything. We did it at Florida, and we got to go to Kentucky next week too, which is. Same deal. So that throws us for. We change our practice time and travel habits and everything when we go to the Eastern Time Zone, and so that's we don't go to Georgia this year, who's obviously an Eastern, but we have 3 trips to the Eastern Time Zone this year, and so we have to change up our normal routine when we do that with our body clocks and that sort of thing.
I got a million. I could keep you all day, but I'm going to just say thank you so much for the time. I appreciate it as always. Good luck the rest of the way, and we'll visit again down the road.
Let's do it. I appreciate it, bud. Boot up.
All right. Thank you, Coach. That is Will Wade. So good. Like his complete. Do you want to know why there's just so much, but like why the league sometimes wants to jab back? Because he's not afraid to punch in the nose. And I just love it so much. He called out their own marketing people for the Gold game, which is something we've railed on forever. It's so stupid. He's like, you get foam fingers. Like, yeah. But anyway, we're so late. Mike Triplett was supposed to start our interview with us a minute ago. Let me break. We'll come back with Mike Triplett at AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. The weather has been a bit schizophrenic. It's going to be 80 degrees today, or it's 76 for the high. And then tomorrow night, we're going to be in the 30s. So if you're cranking on your AC or your heater, depending on what day or hour in the day it is, and you have an issue, call River City's 1 Hour Air. You see them all over town. Big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. River City's 1 Hour Air. Go read the reviews. They've got more than double the amount of 5-star reviews compared to the next closest competitor because they've been in business for 40 years. They've been providing 5-star service for 40 years in our community. You don't stick around that long if you're doing something right. If you're not doing something right. River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
Bayou Ford has 0.9% for 60 months on new Ford F-150 plus $1,000 bonus cash. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. And right now, get $1,000 bonus cash plus 0.9% APR for 60 months on new 2021 Ford F-150. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Deep down in Louisiana, close to New Orleans, way back up in the woods among the evergreens, there stood a log cabin made of earth and wood, where lived a...
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Our buddy Mike Triplett among those reporting that Pete Carmichael will, in fact, be retained as Saints offensive coordinator. Mike's good enough to join us for a couple of minutes here. Thanks for the time as always, man. How are you?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Our pleasure. So let me start with maybe a reaction to the Carmichael news. Was the, or I guess really a question, was the initial report that he wouldn't be retained, was that wrong, or was this sort of an about face?
Well, good question, and I wish I had an exact answer for you on that. I was never able to get to the bottom of exactly what was behind that, whether that was Carmichael himself not putting his hat in the ring, wanting to take a step back, or whether they had a different vision, or whether there was just a misinterpretation that they were going to search other candidates, but he was still in the running. Obviously, he was still in the running.
Sure.
I know he did not, I confirmed that he did not put his hat in the running for head coach, but obviously still at offensive coordinator. And look, I think if that initial report had never come out, this would have not surprised anyone. I mean, Dennis Allen could have been named head coach and said, and I'm keeping Pete Carmichael, and nobody would have batted an eye, I don't think. But, you let your mind wander for the last week. Look how exciting. I wonder what kind of an offense they're going to bring in. I wonder what the vision is. And so when it does end up as Pete Carmichael a week later, there's a little bit of a, okay. But only because of that, excitement of, is there something better out there? But then when one of the candidates, that we heard was interviewing late in the process was Jay Gruden, that doesn't check that box for me. I don't think Jay Gruden changes the offense more than Pete Carmichael does. I think if Pete Carmichael left this staff, he'd be snatched up immediately by another team. His qualifications are impeccable.
What are they going to do on the defensive side, Mike? I mean, I see they're interviewing candidates, but any idea?
I think it's the same thing. I think the head coaching search, the offensive coordinator search, the defensive coordinator search might all end up very similar, which is due diligence, exploring and considering other avenues, and then winding up sort of back to the most likely scenario in the first place. So we've got Dennis Allen, we've got Pete Carmichael, and I'll be surprised if we go 3 for 3 and have leading contender Ryan Nielsen end up as defensive coordinator. And out of all of those, that's the biggest no-brainer of them all. I mean, Dennis Allen himself was sort of a no-brainer, but the defensive staff is so talented. Ryan Nielsen deserves to be a defensive coordinator in this league. Chris Richard deserves to be a defensive coordinator in this league. I would think those are the top two candidates. I think they were going to be the hardest guys to beat out all along this process.
Mike Triplett is with us, ESPN.com. So I think we're all in agreement on the staff is going to be good and in place. The bigger thing is you got to find a quarterback, and you got to figure out a way to get under the cap and then plug some holes in this roster. Are you convinced or any closer to being convinced what the Saints are looking to do at quarterback?
I think they're going to aim high at quarterback. I mean, their entire philosophy is obviously we are built to win right now. We are not rebuilding. We are not going for a 3-year plan. We're not overhauling. And they're right. And part of that is not just that they're built to win now, but they're better built to win now than they will be in 3 years. I mean, Cameron Jordan and Demario Davis and Malcolm Jenkins are only going to be, excellent players for so many more years. And frankly, Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara are only going to be excellent players for so many more years because of the attrition you see at those skill positions. So not only are they built to win now, they better win now to take full advantage of this roster. And so I see them being very aggressive at quarterback. Now, are Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers even available? We don't know yet. Could the Saints possibly make the best offer for those guys? I'm skeptical. They don't pick until 18th in the draft. If Russell Wilson's getting traded, can another team make a better offer? But I think the Saints will explore those avenues. Not, I think Jameis Winston and Teddy Bridgewater seem to be the most likely options, though, because I think they're every bit as good as a lot of these guys that might be available for trade. Carson Wentz, Jimmy Garoppolo, Ryan Tannehill, even if Baker Mayfield is available. I don't know that those guys are way better than Jameis Winston or possibly Teddy Bridgewater. I know they would cost a lot more, though. So if it's not Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers, I would bet on Winston or Bridgewater.
Mike, they got to get, according to Spotrac, there's $76 million over the cap. Generally, there are some obvious restructure opportunities or cap casualties.
Yeah.
What are those for over the next 3 weeks or so? What are some of the players that we're going to be seeing in the headline for a restructure or being released?
Well, restructure all of them. Anyone who's not on a rookie contract. But they do plan for this. So one thing that I thought was interesting, first of all, I've covered the Saints so long that I know the math as if it's fourth grade math now. And back in December, I took my first look, and I had a pencil and a piece of paper, and I got to $101 million in cap savings, just jotting it down quickly. Just by restructuring. Long story short, if your base salary is $10 million, you say, let's call it a $9 million signing bonus and a $1 million salary. And the signing bonus can be spread over 5 years. So, I mean, they do that for everybody. But they also plan for it. Like Marshawn Lattimore and Ryan Ramczyk signed those monster deals last year. I think their cap numbers are 20x million, and they can get them down to, 7 million. Like, they can save tons on those. The bigger the contract, the more they can save. Now, they're not saving it, they're pushing it into future years, but the cap is going to go up and up, especially with these new TV deals. So they plan for that. They're fine doing that. It does force them to make sure everybody is worth the money they're paying them, though, and that's where we'll take a microscope to the team. There aren't a lot of obvious guys to get cut because they're making too much money. One is maybe Bradley Roby, though. He's due $10 million. They're not going to pay him $10 million if their vision is for him to be the third corner who only plays 1/3 of the snaps. There were a couple other guys. Andrew Speed, he's only supposed to make $9 million in cash, and I think we saw how much they missed him when he was gone. I don't really see a lot of obvious guys that won't be on this team. It'll mostly be restructured.
Mike, it kind of feels like the Saints went through that last year, right? I mean, all the guys that aren't.
Now, last year they had to cut players. Last year they did not prepare for it. Last year was, instead of the cap going up by 10 as they expected, it went down by almost 20. So that was a $30 million difference that they did not plan for, and that is why we saw them lose so many guys, including obviously an Emmanuel Sanders, who would have been huge. Janoris Jenkins, they actually absorbed that better than we thought. Malcolm Brown. The one lesson we learned, though, last year is even when the cap bit them in the butt and they had to make all those cuts, they did not cut Teron Armstead. They franchise tagged Marcus Williams. They didn't cut Michael Thomas or Alvin Kamara or Demario Davis. They re-signed Lattimore. They re-signed Ramczyk. They will take it out of the middle tiers. They will not lose star players over because they can't figure out the cap.
Great stuff as always, Mike. We appreciate you.
All right. Thank you.
Be well. He's on Twitter at Mike Triplett, ESPN.com. It's going to be fascinating. Another 3 weeks. Saints figure this cap situation out, and they will because they always do. and they'll look forward to who might be joining this team with. If Mike's math, he said he did the math and he got to about $100 million, $101 million in savings. So that would put you at somewhere in the $30, $35 million range to spend on free agents. What direction might they go? And then, of course, how you structure a deal over time gives you more flexibility now. But look, Kai Harley's the best at that. He's done it forever, and it's why the Saints, despite the cap number being what it is, they just keep on kind of rolling along. So, all right, it is after further review. We're glad you're with us. I love telling you about Relief Windows. ReliefWindows.com, 288-8138, 288-8138, or ReliefWindows.com. As a matter of fact, I got a text earlier today on the show text line from someone who said, hey, who's the company that you always talk about with, here it is, it was Paul Russell asked. He said, who's the siding guy that you mentioned on your show? Mentioned it's Relief Windows because, yes, they do windows, but they also do doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. And they're just the best. You'll get that great customer service experience. You'll never pay $1 until the work is completed to your satisfaction. That's Relief Windows. 288-8138, 288-8138, or reliefwindows.com. All right, appreciate Mike Triplett for joining us. We're also today. Did you ever put together the poll question, Muse? I'm curious.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. How'd it go?
Well, let's see.
It was about the Blake Money.
It was about the Blake Money drop. Yeah. So today's
what direction we're going to go? Yeah.
Poll of the day was, what should Blake Money's drop be on AFR? Show Me the Money from Jerry Maguire.
Okay.
The Ted DiBiase theme.
Okay.
That's Money Dude from Stale Cracker, which I need to play that for you.
Yeah,
and,
I don't know what that is.
Money by the OJs.
Okay.
And Show Me the Money from Jerry Maguire right now. 42.3% of the vote.
Probably
leads the way.
The most famous, most familiar, I would guess.
Probably.
Yeah, it's terrible because it's just terrible question views. Terrible options.
Well, you couldn't resist, could you?
No.
You had to do it.
It was just.
I even asked you, Matt. I said, "What do you want the options to be?"
When I told you, you just pick them and I'll blast them later. I told you it was going to happen. I mean, we're manifesting our destiny. That's all, right? With this poll question. But Swingers, Baby, You're So Money, you don't even know. Like, that's going to be in there for sure. Oh, this is the best one yet. Hang on. Sorry, I got a frog in my throat. Dom C texted.
Okay.
And one I had not considered, but is an exceptional idea. From Old School, the Snoop concert. The make money, money, make money, money, money. If you kind of play it, it could be Blake money, money, Blake money, money, money.
It could.
That's a sensational outside-the-box idea that could really serve us well. So we'll file that away. Muse will do better on the poll question tomorrow. We hope. Probably not. Just have bad questions.
Doesn't matter if I do. You're just going to tear it apart anyway.
Of course I will. That's what I do. But we'll continue. Let me knock out a break. Otter in less than 15 minutes. You know what day it is, right? It's Thursday. Color Day! Get rich, people. It's AFR.
AFR.
Pinnacle Exterior Construction. Tell you about them every single day, and boy, it is a great time to call Pinnacle right now while the weather is still rainy and cold. They don't stop working. You want that custom pool? The outdoor kitchen, fences, decks, bulkheads, they do it all. Maybe you had a fence blown down from Ida, you still haven't fixed it. Pinnacle can help. Maybe you got a dog for Christmas and it keeps running away. Pinnacle can build you a fence. Kids and dogs, primary reasons people build fences. Pinnacle can build you a fence. But remember, if you're looking for that custom pool, this is the time. Like, this is the best time. Don't wait until it's hot outside when you've always been sitting outside sweating going, man, we should put in a pool. Do it now. That tax refund's coming soon. Invest into your outdoor space. Pinnacle Exterior Construction can help. 757-6138. Call them now. Start the process now so when the weather's nice, you're swimming. 757-6138 or PECbuilt.com for Pinnacle Exterior Construction.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge. Innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, rolling along, get to Otter Locks here in about 10 minutes or so. LSU has released the spring football dates for Brian Kelly's first spring. So spring practice will begin on March 24th. They, of course, will have 15 spring practices, with culminating with the National L Club spring game on April the 23rd. So set your calendar accordingly for the tens of you that plan on attending the spring game. I mentioned earlier that I did an interview on the Chuck Oliver show today, and was asked about why LSU fans don't attend the spring game, or if people were excited about the spring game. No, we're never excited about the spring game. Spring Saturdays are for crawfish boils and being outside, and you'd maybe DVR it or watch it on demand whenever you want, or have it on for a minute or two, but by and large, people don't carve out time out of their Saturday to go watch practice. I kind of laugh at the people at the place that do put 80, 90,000 people in the stadium for a spring game. But maybe this year, first year Brian Kelly, there might be maybe there will be more interest. I'm not trying to poo-poo it. If you want to do that, I always say I will never tell you what you should do with your free time or your disposable income. That's completely up to you, and if you enjoy it, go do it. But I also just understand, there's just generally not been a huge interest in the spring game. I mean, LSU has always tried to generate more buzz around it, find ways to get people there, concerts outside. It just don't think it's anything that's ever really going to hold. But spring football is just massively important this year. That's undeniable. You've got a new coaching staff, and you've got basically half of your roster that turned over. So, yeah, it's really important for these new guys to come in, get acclimated to the program, the new coaching staff. So, March 24th, spring practice will begin. Pro Day is going to be April the 6th, and then the spring game will be April the 23rd inside of Tiger Stadium. First spring game of the Brian Kelly era. All right, tap to further review. Brought to you by Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. That's us, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Honest to goodness, true story. Yesterday when I was on the air, where there's a text chain among all of our partners at Hudco, and there was obviously inclement weather coming last night and this morning, and there was an issue, not our fault at all, that happened at a house. It just happens. I mean, when you're in construction and different fields, you run into issues at times, and everybody on our text, that includes Ryan Terrio and guys you hear me talk about all the time, Tilly, Sam Hay, all went to this home, this customer's residence, and were all working to finish the job into the night, like past dark, to make sure this got done so there wasn't rain on an exposed roof. Like literally last night after dark, Ryan Terrio was at a homeowner's house up like hammering nails. So we go the extra mile for our people. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Tell you all the time, do business with someone you know. How many other companies would do that? Do business with someone you know. It's us. It's me. It's Terrio. You can email me directly, Matt@HudcoRoofing.com. If you need roof repair, roof replacement, we do gutters, soft wash as well. Soft wash your roof or your entire home, HudcoRoofing.com. And I've been telling you also about the Hudco Hometown Heroes program, which is our version of NIL. That's what we're doing. Any roofing job that we complete, we will take a portion of the net and we will commit it to an NIL deal with the athlete of the homeowner's choosing. So any athlete you want, no matter the athlete, the school, the sport, we'll do an NIL deal with them. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. All right, before we grab our final break here and get to Otter Locks, I was reminded of this earlier today, actually because of LinkedIn. I started getting all these congrats on your work anniversary messages on LinkedIn. If you're on LinkedIn, that's something that happens pretty commonly. But I was reminded that today, February 17th, is the day that AFR launched. So 12 years ago today, we debuted AFR, and I just wanted to take a quick moment, if I could, to say thank you to everybody who's taken time over the last dozen years to listen to the show. It was interesting. I was being somewhat sort of reflective today. 12 years is a long time, but it's also been sort of a formative time in my life. Like I became the host of AFR in February of 2010. That's when we launched the show, obviously. And I wasn't engaged or married or have any children. And I've really gone through many formative life things here with all of you. And so I'm very grateful. I mean, to everyone who's ever taken time to watch or to listen, for whatever reason that you listen or watch, I'm very grateful, and the care and the kindness that so many of you have shown me and my family, Erica and Drew and everybody's it's humbling. And for all the people that have worked on the show, it's awesome. But I'll tell you, even more so than just AFR, I'm most proud of what 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge has become. Because when the station launched and AFR was the first show on the station, it was like me and Cade were the only two employees of the station. That was it. And to see where it is now, like you go to SEC Media Days and everybody knows our station. Like everybody knows it. Regionally, it's become this this really impressive footprint. And I'm so proud to be a part of the station, work with everybody here on staff and all the other shows here who have been here in the past and are here now. It's been really, really cool. So just a quick moment to say thanks to everybody who has joined us at any point over the last dozen years, and here's hoping there's many, many more. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out our final break of the show. Otter Locks is next. It's Colucci Day. Get your DraftKings Sportsbook app ready. Colucci's picks are next.
AFR.
Better coverage for less money. That's Insurance Network of Louisiana. 293-0450, 293-0450, 293-0450, 293-0450, or lainsurance.net. That's Insurance Network of Louisiana. The process is simple. Call them. They'll take some information about your current insurance coverage, and they do all the work. There is no catch. There is no fine print. There are no strings attached. They have relationships with dozens of the top-rated companies in the world. We're not talking about cut-rate insurance. They just go shop. They say, hey, look, this customer, here's the insurance they currently have. Can you beat it? Can you beat it? Can you beat it? Can you beat it? Then they come back to you and say, here's 4 or 5 policies, whatever, that we have that are better options than you currently have. Let's decide which is best for you. And sometimes it comes back to where they say, what you have is perfect. Stick with it. But it costs you nothing to have them shop for you. 293-0450, 293-0450. Call right now, 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Are you thinking about a new vehicle? Come to Corvell Toyota in Opelousas and pre-order your next Toyota. It's an easy process, and Toyotas are getting to our lot weekly. So what are you waiting for? Come on down to Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Ford has 0.9% for 60 months on new Ford F-150 plus $1,000 bonus cash. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. And right now, get $1,000 bonus cash plus 0.9% APR for 60 months on new 2021 Ford F-150. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Are you a licensed?
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here on a Thursday edition of AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. One thing left to do. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Clark Crane Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in St. Francisville, because a great deal is worth a short drive to Clark Crane.
So we turn to the one and only, the incomparable, the often incomprehensible, the Ott Father himself, Jimmy Ott. Otter, how are you?
Not so good, man.
Oh, I hate to hear that. Can't imagine why. After a 2-0 night last night.
Yeah.
A double ding, Muse. A double ding. A double ding.
Ding, ding, baby.
Ding, ding.
Rocking chair, too.
I can't imagine why you wouldn't be feeling good tonight, Otter.
No, that was the feeling good. Rutgers never in doubt. Double digits the whole way, catching 4, and then Texas Tech pulls away. They stay undefeated at home. Now that's 8 straight against the spread in conference play at home. But our boy is Terrell Owens Colucci. I think he's holding out on us today. He wants a bigger deal. I sent you the picture that Kevin did of him, making it rain with fire coming off the dollar bills and stuff. He retweeted the post, but he is not responding, man. I cannot find him right now. I'm worried about my little meatballs and spaghetti partner.
He's not giving you the picks.
Well, he can't. He can't. How can he when you can't get in touch with him?
That's my point, is that he hasn't given you the picks yet.
I thought this was something like this is illegal or something. We can't get our guy. I mean, where is our guy? So.
Well, you know what, Jimmy?
I mean, I got people are freaking out.
How ridiculous is that?
I mean, absolutely freaking out. I'm waiting any moment. It's not like him to do this, so he might actually be working at the Rampart right now, but he's scheduled to be on at 6:30. He's never missed before, so. But
here's, for those who are watching, here's I tweeted the picture. It's Colucci's head. It's Colucci's head photoshopped onto a body of somebody making it rain with fire coming off of dollar bills and the NHL logo, just sort of dancing about with frothy beer mugs. I mean, it's really a wonderful. I mean, it's a magnificent piece of art, which you've done there with Colucci. So I would love it if we get Colucci's picks before we're done. But if not, I'm hoping you have some college basketball to roll with us.
I do.
Okay.
I do. Earlier, a little battle in the Big Ten, Iowa and Michigan. Michigan playing better as of late, but Iowa at home. They love to push the tempo. We're going to lay the short number in that one. Might have to look it up. It might be 4.5, 5.
Yeah, I'm looking at 4.5 right now.
Okay. Yeah, so 4.5. So what do we do? Last night came into play. UConn got hooked. You buy that half, 5 or under. And so that's when we're going to buy it and lay an extra 10 cents, -4 on that one. Also, New Mexico is not a good team, but they have been as of late. They beat Wyoming, who's atop the Mountain West, earlier this week at home. They got them back in the pit, beat by 9, too. Got Colorado State at the pit tonight, catching 8.5 is what I'm showing. See what you got. And then finally, Houston at Florida. Houston also lost their 2 starting guards, but they lost it for the season. And now it's finally caught up to them. They lost their first game in a long time at home to SMU, to Memphis by double digits. Lost to SMU on the road. Finally catching up with them. Their guards are playing like 38 minutes a game. A little bit of tired, a little bit of fatigue because they love to play such pressure defense. Central Florida, not bad. We're going to take Johnny Dawson's group plus double digits. So Iowa, New Mexico, and Central Florida. And stay tuned, but 6:30. Meatball Man, the Meatball Man is missing. The missing Meatball Man.
I'm miffed. I'm really miffed. I mean, we've been spending parts of every hour playing the Colucci horn and getting people really, really excited about this, and I'm kind of just stalling now, hoping that he texts you. But you know what might have to happen here, Otter, is we just tell people, tune in at 6:30, but normally it's for the early games is when he's giving us plays. But tune in at 6:30, and let's catch Colucci on Game Time with Jimmy Ott. Hey, you're at Jolie Pearl.
Jolie Pearl.
So downtown Baton Rouge, you've got Colucci at 6:30. What else?
Charlie, we're watching the end of the Genesis Invitational in LA right now, and part of our consensus picks that our guys, all of our golf guys, we put out the consensus with 4 of them. Cameron Smith finished 4 under. He was 1 off the lead with the early group. With Joaquin Neiman, one of our consensus guys, 7 under. He's with 4 holes to play. He is on fire in the first round of the Genesis Invitational. So we've been doing that. We'll be talking, of course, a little LSU baseball. Got odds odds to win the World Series. Where do you think LSU is as far as that ranking?
Is it
not just odds.
to win it or to make it?
To win it.
Somebody told me they saw odds earlier today at maybe like, was it maybe plus 1,200, something like that? Was it you told me? Somebody told me that was plus 1,200 earlier. What are you looking at?
I'm not sure what the price is. Well, I don't have them in front of them, but we'll go over them later. But they were 8. They were the 8th choice.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, bubble team to make Omaha.
That sounds
the odds makers thing.
That sounds about right. I mean, when you look at the schedule, I mean it. I don't think it sets up for LSU to be a top 8 national seed, considering the road schedule they have to face in the SEC with the pitching questions. But you figure all that out. I mean, they could obviously get hot, swing hot bat, and get in Omaha. That wouldn't surprise me. Once you're in Omaha, who knows, right? So
I have never seen this too. We got a text. Hold on. No, that's Andy. Andy, I'm right here.
Oh, God. We gotta go. Game time with Jimmy Ott follows us. Thank you, Otter.
Andy.
All right. Andy's texting him from 5 feet away. Muse, what did you learn today?
Will Wade told a recruit he could pick the uniforms if he came here.
That was so good. Paulie.
Wade doesn't like the gold unis.
What did you learn, Matt?
Norway.
No.
Norway is a kingdom. It's the kingdom of Norway. Who knew? I will see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, reminder about Michelli Weighing and Measurement. You know who's fired up about baseball season. It's the folks over at Michelli, of course. Tell you about Joel McMullen, who's the president and CEO. You might remember Joel's son, Sean McMullen, who was an outfielder and a DH with LSU baseball. Sean works at Michelli as well. So a lot of times when it's sales calls or at some of the calibration labs, you might bump into Sean McMullen and tell you some stories about LSU baseball, playing for Paul Maneri and some great Tiger teams back in the day. Michelli.com, Michelli.com. That's where you can learn more. They're celebrating their 75th year in business, a company that for 3/4 of a century has remained locally owned and operated. They're still based out of their Harahan office right there in the greater New Orleans area, but 29 different calibration labs in 11 different states. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement. ISO 17025 accreditation is available. Learn more online at Michelli.com. Michelli.com for 75 years. Michelli.com.
Dibs!
Kids have staked out their place at Ochsner Medical Complex The Grove, where more than 30 pediatricians and pediatric specialists are all conveniently located under one roof, so you can spend less time driving and more time keeping your kids well.
Dibs!
It's no wonder kids call dibs at The Grove. Ochsner Health Center for Children.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has new Jeep Gladiator Rubicons in stock with $2,000 off MSRP. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. And right now, get $2,000 bonus cash on new 2021 Jeep Gladiator. Shop now at BayouCDJR.com. The crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.